see how Fox plays though, right? Like anytime you corner, you just release the accelerator.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I got the hang of it like somewhat
Yeah.
quickly.
And it's funny because like this boost system, it basically takes away the weakness that the Golden Fox has. Because in the original, it was the worst vehicle just because you couldn't recover from, constantly deaccelerating to 400. But now that you can boost out of it, it's like, I mean, it's just the boost system counteracts its weakness. And not only that, the drive boosting you see at the end here, like this is the only vehicle that can like really benefit from doing this extensively, just because it's got the lowest top speed. If someone told me you needed to win a GP, or with the guns to your head and said you better win this GP, you're going Fox. Like as good as a Fire Stingray is, like I do think the Golden Fox is the best vehicle in 99 right now, and it's not even close. Very few courses will a Stingray like outright dominate on one. But if you can be in first place on the majority of the courses, even if you're slower overall, you don't have to deal with the downside of the Stingray having to catch up. Maybe with 5 laps, Stingray's a little bit better. But with 4 laps, ain't really nothing you can do.
So how would you compare 99 to the SNES, like the engine? Because it's essentially like it's a basically a remake of it, isn't it? Like on a different engine.
Yeah, it's everything's different. Even the cornering's different. Like one of the toughest things I had to deal with coming back to Super is that I was trying to corner with Fire Stingray and I was struggling because it was like I was like, what the hell? There's no way that the cornering on this card is this shit. Because in this game, like your cornering ability has increased tremendously. Like even Stingray's is way stronger, and it causes a lot of oversteering whenever you're boosting and then you're going from boost state to not boost state. Like you almost have to tap steer to make sure you don't overextend. But I do feel overall it was a much better version. Like I would take 99's engine any day over SNES. I mean it's just overall it's just better. It's cleaner. It's more friendly. I mean, like blast turning was almost like a necessity you needed in Super Nintendo just to do a few courses. It's still needed in 99, but you can just take corners a little better. You got more recovery options. That's just how I look at it. They're both still great versions, but if you just had to have only one, you'd probably want the 99 version. I mean, just for the balance alone. I mean, we have a chart of all the times for Super Nintendo. It's basically Stingray only, then it goes to Blue Falcon, then it goes to Wild Goose, then it goes to Golden Fox. At least in '99, like every single vehicle has a strong chance of, winning. I mean, to be 5 seconds slower, even on a basic course in Super Nintendo, you can't win, no matter how good you are. But at least here, you'll still see like good Falcon players beat good Fox players sometimes. MKDS Master. Yeah, this course here, I mean, I haven't touched it, but it just looks so much easier.
Oh, you haven't played this track?
No, but I've seen the bumps on it. If you notice, like when they crash into the wall and try to bump over there, it's like weak. Like you don't rebound strong. So it does make this track a little trickier, but the cornering
I
ability is so good.
mm-hmm.
Hey there, Galleon.
Hello. Yeah, I was grinding Firefield with the Fire Stingray. Rebounding on this track is very annoying.
Yeah, it's so much easier in Super Nintendo, but here it's like it's so weak. But the car does corner a lot stronger. Like comparing Super Nintendo Firefield with Stingray to this, like you'll notice that like this vehicle corners so much.
Yeah, like look at that. That went
Like that first
perfectly.
corner, like that's so bullshit. Like that is so hard to do in Super. Like you can't take it that tight. Like you're
No.
barely glancing against the end of the wall. And I think it's. I mean, I don't mind it. the balance. I mean, you just have to play. It's a different game essentially.
And you only have one boost in the original game. Here you have, I guess, two most of the time.
SNES and MV are the only ones that did the one boost, and then I want to say it's what F-Zero X, that like
Yeah, I think you're right.
they
Yeah.
made the health boost mechanic risk.
Honestly, I tried Super Nintendo for the first time pretty recently. The game felt a lot faster.
It's that mode 7 and the draw distance. Like it
Mhm.
does feel faster, and like you had only one boost to use per lap. SNES is absolutely faster, but when you start boosting more than once a lap, 99's faster. If they would have just made the boost a little stronger, like you see how it oscillates, like in the top right corner, like whenever they boost here at the starting line, just watch how fast the speed goes from it's like 6 something to 478. Like you'll see right here, like just watch how fast that occurs. Like, you see how ridiculously fast that is. Like in Super Nintendo, you can actually watch that counter count down in the tenths. Whereas on here, you can't see it because it's going so fast. And that's why you are faster in Super Nintendo, because like every vehicle had its own boost strength, I guess. But they almost equalized the boost strength in this game just because of, I guess, balance reasons.
What would you say was the machine that got the biggest buff compared to the original game?
Golden Fox. Golden Fox
Yeah, Golden
was
Fox.
literally the
Golden
worst
Fox.
vehicle in Super Nintendo. We actually have like data to back it up. And it went from the worst vehicle in not Super Nintendo to the best vehicle in 99.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, if anything, the only thing that got better with the Stingray is that its cornering was a little stronger. But other than that, like, it really didn't. I mean, it went from 1 to 2. Fox went from 4 to 1. And I would even argue that, like, Blue Falcon and Goose is like, they're kind of both really good vehicles when you compare them against each other. Like, they're really close. One of them is more survivable, and one of them is better at like tight cornering.
Yeah. I would say the Goose gets buffed because now you have more than 20 racers at you at a time, so it's good to have that better handling.
It also specializes in the battle element. I'd like to say,
Yeah.
like it is an actual vehicle that you want to battle with. So, if anything, let's see, like the ranking in Super Nintendo is Stingray, Falcon, Goose, and Fox. And in '99, I would say it goes Fox, Stingray, Goose, Falcon. So funny enough, Falcon's probably the worst vehicle in the game, but I mean, that's just in a vacuum. Like I've seen a lot of really good players on like Silence and Red Canyon 1 and even Whiteland 1 using Blue Falcon, and they're just hard to beat there if they're good.
Yeah, I've been playing Blue Falcon more. I really like how it feels.
It plays exactly how you want it to feel. It's a beginner
Yeah.
level friendly vehicle that it doesn't specialize, but it's really good at like allowing you to get back into the race if you make mistakes.
This map got a lot better.
And like Wild Goose, like if you're good at like KOing people, you know that vehicle is just scary. You know, being halfway
Yeah.
across the course away from the pit lane and then you get a KO, you just
Yeah.
effectively you just outpaced your opponents. Like that's a deadly vehicle if you're good with it, especially in GPs. Like that's why I see a lot of GP victories with the Goose. Is like if you get a clutch KO early on, it translates to the rest of the GP. You know, it kind of needs that support. That's kind of why Fox and Stingray are just dominant. Is that they don't need KOs to put pressure on people and win. I mean, it helps, but it doesn't benefit like a Goose getting full health. I guess that's
I'd
scary.
say sometimes the Stingray needs a KO, especially if you're caught behind and you're in the pit.
Well, most places that a Stingray doesn't win is places that Foxes win comfortably.
Yeah.
And even with a KO, it doesn't matter. It's a different game. I mean, from what we're hearing, they're probably going to add the Ace League, but
That would be great.
we don't know that for sure. But from what Nintendo posted, they're still going to update the game, and it's like you still got 2 game modes that they want to put in. If they could add, like, I don't know what the game modes would be, but they just need to add something.
I heard rumors that one of them was going to be a death match. I think that would be fun.
I don't know how that would work.
Like last person standing.
I mean, I'm just thinking like how it would work from a gameplay standpoint. Like, with every lap you complete deplete energy from other people. Like, how would that? I just don't know how the game mode would work. Like team battle, every KO, everybody in your team gets an increase in health.
I believe
Unless it's,
I think the safe position could increase with each lap.
or it could be like in F-Zero X where like they made you race on a oval, and that's basically what it was you were always near somebody to whack it, which that would just be pure chaos. Oh, here's the oh, this is the baby skip now. Yeah, that's
They
the
didn't even boost.
yeah, like super shortcuts got found like what was it, like a week ago? Or
On
like
Whiteland
beginning
1?
of it was like beginning of this week. It was like Port Town 1, consequently Port Town 2, and Whiteland 1 all got skips that actually defied logic because they were able to bypass the recovery mechanic. You know, like right here, how there's that skip that like comes up right here. Well, they found out that like I guess the developers were like, there's no freaking way somebody's gonna land here, and then like somebody did it. So you just completely bypass this shit. If you look up, I think Riley, some of his latest videos would probably include the Whiteland 1 shortcut.
Isn't that one like really tight?
Well, yeah, they're all really tough. It's hard to explain, but from what they said, it's just like some positions on the landing just don't give you that. So I'm sure when they realize like where the trigger exists for determining if you skip the checkpoint, like yeah, like it might not be a straight line, like it might be an angle on the track. So that's why they're probably trying to land. I want to say they're trying to land as far left as possible, and sometimes they'll even hit the wall just to guarantee that they get the shortcut.
Oh, so you don't have to hit the wall?
No, I mean we've seen people do it where it's just a clean jump and land and no wall bang, but that is so unheard of. Like I think everyone that's Edward done, you know, that Edward's done during his streams, he's hit the wall.
I was playing with Minsk earlier, and they got like full 10 seconds ahead of everyone else. I was wondering how they did that here. In a time attack, that makes sense, but in an actual race, that seems very hard to do.
Oh, that's F-Zero.
Pretty sure someone's gotten it on all 4 laps.
Yes, Dotman and Edward have done it on Whiteland 1. And in a race, I'm not sure. I can tell you that I've tried it in Super Nintendo, and like, it's not close to being possible. But if you practice something enough, you know, you'll get it. And actually, that's why like on like Red Canyon 1, just jumping the plates, you know, it's a lot easier to do. Yeah, it's tough. Like I would not ever try it in an actual race. Like the only way I would ever try that is if it was impossible for me to win otherwise. And putting yourself in a situation where you can't win without it, for the most part, should be rare because Whiteland 1, if you're just good at the course naturally, you'll stay generally close up to the front.
Yeah.
And funny enough, the Port Town 2 version of the shortcut compared to Port Town 1 is apparently harder because it's technically not the same track. Like the geometry is slightly off, so you need a strong, like a more proficient cut. Because like they're the same course where the shortcut lands, but if you look at the geometry, like what they determined was that like you need a stronger cut on Port Town 2 for it to count compared to Port Town 1. I seen a funny video on Twitter where somebody was just doing Port Town 1, they were leading, and then all of a sudden on the final lap, a Stingray comes out of nowhere doing the super shortcut to take first place in the victory. Like Dotman's got a 104 on Port Town 1 and a 139 on Port Town 2. Like it's ridiculous how fast this is. But this is like the record that Dotman set on Port Town 2. And it's very precise.
Let's check this out.
I mean, these courses were like, I mean, it saved over 20 seconds in time attack.
Oh, wow.
And funny enough, he doesn't even boot, like what he's doing there at the start is your cornering ability is reduced significantly under boost state. So he needs just that extra amount of cornering that he doesn't even accelerate at the start. That's
yeah. I'm gonna watch that one more time.
I mean, that's crazy that the strat on Port Town 2, you just forego boosting. And as odd as it sounds, that actually makes that a lot easier. Like you're at a much more controlled speed. You're at a better angle.
Is this a like a known player?
This is Dotman. This let's see.
Did he play F-Zero for Super
He's
Nintendo?
I think he's a Mario Kart. He's a Mario Kart player. I think he's a Mario Kart 64 time.
Oh wow.
But he's really good at the game. Yeah, he's got a setup. You can see how he's on the right. He actually boosts into the jump plate. Interesting. Well, that extra boost into the plate does push him a little further. I'm just curious if Edward. I think he's been testing it without boosting into it, maybe. Like a lot of it, I've seen Edward trying this where he's boosting at the start.
It looks like clipping into the black part of the wall helps him a lot.
Yeah, they've done that on White Lane once, so it must be a consistency. I mean, for how tight it is, you kind of have to deal with it and just go for that kind of strat.
139.
Mm-hmm. That's a shame. I put all that effort into my 125, and I got within like a half second of what I considered best time I can ever get, and then just 20-second time save. Like you would not do this in a race. I'll say that. Like you would only ever perform this type of stuff if you're behind, and your aim is to get a win. But if you could make this consistent, like holy shit. And the Port Town 1 variant is, from what I've seen, it is a lot easier. I mean, like right here, he's not even boosting into it. So most likely, the boost is really needed for the second one. A lot of speed loss too. There's Jay Dizzle. I know he's done some super shortcuts recently.
Yeah, that'll be
this
fun.
this is the old way. This is the slow way. Funny enough, this run stood for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was a world record, right?
Oh yeah, but you can see how the court, like this game's evolving way fast compared to SNES. Like SNES is stagnant. Like you find a strategy, you stick with it. There's a lot of variables in this game. It is nice that this is a little bit more unique compared to SNES because it does give a little bit more of a reason to play it. Like it'd be silly if it was just the same game but with more boosting. But now, like, there's actual differences that you can point to, and it's like you can't play this like SNES and expect it at the same time. Like you have to play the game as its own like thing. And this run here in particular was like within, I want to say 0.3, 0.4 seconds of like my summa best. And if you do this, like this would be the strat you would perform in GP, like bare minimum. Like this is still fat. Like, this is still faster by over a second compared to not taking the shortcut. So GP, you want to do this strat. If you're able to pull, thinking about it, if you just do Port Town 1 and then boost into the plate, like that might be safer, like safe enough to do consistently. I'm sure there's other players I would have to test that, but it was necessary to do for Port Town 2 with Dotman. But if you did the same kind of strategy on Port Town 1, like it's absolutely worth that boost.
I love playing this map 50 times in 10 minutes.
Oh, the Mute City Curse of 99. Yeah, unfortunately, everybody knows Golden Fox is kind of dominant in Mute City 1.
Yeah.
And Mute City 3 by extension, but
yeah, yesterday I had it picked 3 times in a row, and I somehow managed to get first all 3 times with the Stingray. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah,
I think it was just good go-away timing.
Yeah, I've I kind of just don't think about it anymore when I play it because I got my strategy down, and if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. Unfortunately, there's the only way to counter Fox on this stage is another Fox. But then at that point, if one Fox KOs the other Fox, it becomes a Super Fox, and then you just lose still. So you know, you just got to deal with it. I mean, Mute City 4 is going to be interesting if that does come out because it's got the Deathwind boosters, so it'd be really freaking fast and chaotic. Assuming they're going to go with the Ace Link. I mean, I don't see a reason for them not to. Like, my understanding. Oh, absolutely. Like, Sandstorm is like literally sand ocean with Deathwind wind. And like, it was, yeah, that's going to be awful if that course exists in 99. That is going to be chaotic.
I like that. I mean,
but Big Blue
chaotic is
2,
good.
and Silence 2. I think Big Blue
Yeah,
2 was like a
got it.
superior version of Big Blue. And
Mhm.
Silence 2 was like weird because it was like a lot of jump plates. But I think even that would be pretty fun.
Yeah, but that track is the reason that I'm praying for the Ace League, because it just looks so fun.
It's very fun. Like I mean, the good thing about this game is that it's gotten people to play the original F-Zero. Like when King
Yeah.
League was announced, and they were like, it's coming out soon. Like there's people playing Super Nintendo just to prepare for it. Same with Queen League. People were preparing for Queen League by going on SNES just to get some kind of recognition.
Yeah,
I'm
this
glad the
wasn't
hate
on
around
my,
it died rather quickly.
A lot of people that brought viewership in don't really play it anymore. Like Luna doesn't play it. I don't play it. I mean, you still see Narrowcast stream the game, but it definitely doesn't seem like a lot of people are streaming it
Yeah.
or even playing it. Like I've seen some lobbies
Burb
take forever to
still
fill up.
plays a lot as well on stream.
Yeah. Holy shit! What's with all these KOs, Manx? This is ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Look at that.
That's like the one really fun thing about team battles, is just seeing your health bar double in size.
Team battles are hard to win. Like
Mm-hmm.
my first few matches of them was just me playing Stingray and getting first place, and then I was like, I kept losing. So then I started getting in the middle of, just spin attacking everybody possible, and that's how we win. Kind of just have people that front run, and then everybody else, their job is just to run into people. 5 points of spin is crazy, and you can get multiple points per spin.
Crazy
But-
thing is, I would intentionally try to slow myself down to try to to KO players.
Yep.
It would take forever to slow down. I would stop for like 5 seconds and I'll only be at like 20th place.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I do feel it's a good game. I know a lot of us got blindsided with it. This is what does this say? 994 point league by Manx. He's in a match with Speedloon, which Speedloon's a really good player. I personally don't know who they are, but I know just them in this game. They're crazy good. I don't know the date on this, but
Hold
it's when
down.
Manx was using a Fire Stingray, so that must have been like forever ago. Because he's a dirty Fox player right now. I don't even know if they would add more vehicles in the game, because like the BSF Zero vehicles are like every single one of them is a straight upgrade except for the Luna Bomber. But the Luna Bomber has acceleration plus max speed, whereas Stingray just has max speed. So I think it's weird because it's a slippery vehicle. Like when you corner with it, it actually loses speed, kind of like the Fox. But it goes 472 kilometers, I believe. And like that's not a bad downside. And especially with this being like a more battle-oriented game, like that acceleration it's massive. We'll see if they actually. I don't see them adding more vehicles in this game, but it would be interesting if they did. Personally, I'd like it if they did a setting kind of like F-Zero X, where you can like slide have a customized setting where you can go between acceleration and speed or something.
I like that
And-
feature, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a good feature, and then it'd be based on the course. So like the more speed you want, good for you, but you take a hit at the starting block maybe. Maybe course has a lot of corners on it, so maybe you want a little bit more acceleration. I think that would be a decent feature to have. It won't happen.
That might be cool.
Yeah, because Nintendo, ain't gonna make it happen. But it would be good, because then, I mean, you could risk it all like Stingray and be like, you have no recovery, but you have speed. Oh yeah, this is definitely an old video. Minx would not have passed up an opportunity to take that shortcut. Yeah, this must be from like a month ago when he
Look how
was.
far ahead they are.
Yep. Look at his health. Like that's just fucking disturbing. It's a GP and like he's halfway through it and he has all that health. Wait, yeah, this is the King League one, right?
Yeah, King League.
Wait, when did he switch to the? This must just have been one of his videos. I forgot. This is King League. This was like less than a month.
Mid-October, yeah.
Yeah, That's crazy. So he essentially wins out here if he's getting 994. I mean, that's a lot of energy.
I want to see how they go through that on Firefield.
Oh, absolutely. His only non-first in this one was Deathwind 2, which is acceptable.
Yeah.
Like, can't really blame anybody for losing Deathwind 2. I hate Deathwind 2. That's when you get everything right in Deathwind 2, it's just a great feeling. But then if you play it any other time, you can have the worst race of your life. And it's like you swear you're good at the course, but unfortunately you blow up on lap 2.
That's why I like that one too. It's more about how you win. It's how well you play the map itself,
Yeah,
conversely to other players.
it's probably one of the only maps in the game where it's like you can't race it. You just need to survive. Like if you try to go for optimal lines and whatnot, you're going to ping pong several times. You know, it's not a good course to try and be the fastest.
Yeah, that's what I always used to say on Deathwind 2. It doesn't really matter how well you drive, as long as you hit all the boosters.
Yep.
You should probably be good.
Yep, that was my first advice I gave to people was if you have to brake. You cannot afford to miss those boosters.
Nope.
I would imagine with Blue Falcon, that's probably one of its stronger courses as well, just because it's got really good cornering. This is Red Canyon too, which funny enough, this course doesn't even look that hard, despite it being the second last course in the game. Like this course is easy, but it's only the course that's easy. The placement of the vehicles, the
What?
reds and the gray ones, those are what makes this a challenging track. Like in Super Nintendo, oh, that was a
What?
nasty skyway at the end. That was a hell of a skyway. But like the placement of these vehicles on the course are just awful. Like there's a choke point up here on Super Nintendo where we have to use our boost, and if vehicles show up there, you just run into them. Kind of like
Yeah.
this right here. It's not really
No.
something you can
I
deal
would.
with.
That choke point is not as bad as Port Town 2's.
Oh, Port Town 2 is just the entire course is a choke point.
Yeah. No, like that specifically that one area at the end. If there is a bumper there, you are hitting it no matter what.
Yep. That was a close match. That was a 6 skyway though.
Yeah, in the original game, I always thought of Red Canyon 2 as a bit of a breather track, but it's quite tough in this game.
Yep, I have to deliberately do a slower strategy when I do speedruns just to make sure I don't hit that choke point. And it's the same thing in here. When you're ahead, that's kind of like the best advice I can give anybody in this game is when you're ahead, you kind of dictate the pace of the race. This track here might be one of the few instances where that doesn't matter. Because you watch here, he's going to do his sandbag trap. Because this course is awful. Like this mechanic being a faster strategy is just it sickens me. Because you always want to get in first place, stay in first, and win. But on Firefield, you can't win doing that. You like the skyway on this track is so busted, and I bet you he uses it where I think he's going to use it.
The first time I ever played this map, it was one of the first. It was just when it came out. I actually managed to front run the whole race, even with people skywaying right behind me.
Mm-hmm.
It was very intense.
Yeah, the strategy is known right now, but like we kind of had an idea because we've seen the pictures of the skyways like literally day one when this game came out, and we were looking at Firefield and we were like flabbergasted that this is what they put in, and it just shows you them cutting the most like these are seriously the slowest parts of the track being cut with a skyway, and you still get to keep a boost. Is he going to pull it off? No, he's not going to pull it off this lap. Basically, the strategy on Firefield is you don't have to boost to win. You just have to pull off one skyway and have good health. And when you're going for the skyway, you're naturally not going to boost like crazy. You just want to stay in the middle of the pack. This is probably the only course where this is a winning strategy against any kind of skilled player. Like Silence and like White Land 2.
White Land 2.
If you're just really good at White Land 2, like a skyway is not going to get you a 155. Like it takes a lot of effort to get all those pellets on White Land 2 just because of
Narrative.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't even do the full one. He did a half one. But he has so much freaking energy that he probably said screw it. Which isn't bad. I mean,
I thought he was gonna skip it. Nope.
nah, he's got so much health. I
Yeah, he
mean,
got so much health he skipped it.
the bad thing is that like if somebody behind him has that Skyway, they would overtake him. But he has so much health, and it looks like he's so far ahead that it's too late. Like he could boost here, he can take this corner, he can boost again, and then he's got 2 more boosts at that point. Like he's got such a resource advantage right now that even a full blown Skyway shortcut doesn't work. And it's not.
This is basically sorry.
Yeah, I mean the reason that Skyway shortcut is so hard to overcome is because most people aren't boosting out of that corner where the wall bang is. They're boosting at the second wall bang. So when you travel with the Stingray at between 400 and 440 over the course of like 15 seconds or so, that's a lot of time. But he's got such good resources that he can just boost out of it. Otherwise, he probably would have waited until another lap, like probably lap 4, then boosted, did the Skyway and then boost like a madman.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that he was pretty much doing the fast lap strats on that last lap.
That's another thing I wish they would bring into this is that like, what if they added a mode where you could do a fast lap and just say you can boost into the lap, you get one single Skyway, and then like there should be a way to activate a Skyway at a different time. Like you can get some insane lap times if you incorporate that.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
Oh, cool. I've some jank rigged up thing here. Yeah, I mean something. One thing I noticed though was like when I made calculations, what was it, like 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure if it was because of King League, but there's been a lot less Fox players. Like it was the lowest played ship. And Goose was like doubled everyone else.
It's probably because of that fact that like, for one, Goose is survivability. So, and if you could just win Firefield no matter what, regardless of your vehicle choice, you probably go with survivability. But that's interesting that like Foxes are down, Geese are up. Does that mean that it's just a newer fan base, like a newer player base that's coming in, or are people tired of blowing up? I don't know.
I mean, just in general, Fox is not for casual is not a user-friendly vehicle. So I think that deterred. Because when I was first starting, I thought Fox was the worst ship because I just couldn't use it. It was too difficult. Like I wasn't skilled enough to front run. So like that's just like a huge barrier to use Fox. So I think there's still a lot of great Fox players now. Like when I joined those Narcop like channels, you actually get like a bunch of them in the same one. Then it's a lot of fun. But yeah, just playing casually, I barely run into top tier Fox players anymore.
There's Lunaire, which they haven't played F-099 probably about as long as I haven't. I'm not really sure why that is, but this is the most aggressive way you can play Fox is watching Lunaire. But like,
I remember them.
Yeah.
Well, they did the skip.
Yeah, that skip there is more easy to perform in this version than SNES. In SNES, you had to land on the back half of the jump plate in order to make it. In this game, you don't even need it. You can just boost into the jump plate and gain the height, and just do it. Or you can run into it like, I want to say 400 and between 450 and 470, and you'll be able to at least cut part of the track. But you can kind of see like Golden Fox has such a low speed that you either have to waste a resource boosting into it, or you just have to land on the jump plate, which I don't know the strategy, but I would imagine it's a little bit more consistent. Seeing at how they're like angling their car like that, it must be like just a couple taps during the air. I think Manx would be able to answer that.
Yeah, I just set the record this morning on it. Um,
Just
yeah, so
just
I
a
mean, I
natural
just used the
thing.
joystick through the whole flight. I actually don't even. Well, I kind of nudged the shoulder button, but yeah, if you don't land on that third pad, you actually can't like pretty much can't make the jump with Fox. So I mean, it's all about bouncing consecutively.
So are you touching down at all, or are you just tapping like right?
Um, More of like tapping and kind of like when I'm reaching the landing point is kind of when I go stronger into the shoulder button to
Yeah.
get the curve.
So it
Because
is
it's
a.
such a sharp turn when you land. Like I do hard, like kind of a here. It's like kind of a hard shoulder than a left shoulder.
You need a
The
string
hardest
though. You got a good voice.
the hardest part about this run though was actually the energy management.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a brutal course, even with Stingray to manage energy, because I think the way it goes is like you want to do 2 on the first lap and then 3 on the last lap, but the 2 boost points aren't good for Stingray. Like in general, like Red Canyon is one of the weaker boost courses in the game. Like to me, like if you look at the point right here, like that's it. That little triangle there of dirt, that's like the only thing you're cutting with a boost, and that's like nothing. Like this isn't like you know, Big Blue where there's like 2 mounds to skip. Like boosting is very weak on this course with Stingray. So that's kind of why it's a Golden Fox favored course. And even
Plus, the
then,
Stingray goes over dirt really well in general, so you don't even need to boost over it.
no, you don't. And like you don't have enough track to properly boost. Like you have to boost into a corner, and that introduces like a higher skill element to using a boost instead of just using it on a nice safe patch that maximizes your efficiency. You have to corner, and we all know like you're always going to lose time at corners, so it's inconsistent. And like I cannot beat a front running Golden Fox on Red Canyon. Like I can't. I've tried so fucking hard, but you can't beat Manx if he starts in front of you as a Stingray. Can't beat Luna. The only strategy I found, and I will not resort to it, is deliberately going back to 20th or 30th place and just staying around and collecting pellets and using a scout. Like I can't use this type of strategy. That's anti-racing to me. Even though it's the only way to beat a fox as a Stingray on Red Canyon.
Yeah, the
I hate.
story is just so damn good on Red Canyon. Like you
Like,
have that one spot
yep.
after the jump where it just zips you along to the end.
Yeah, it's the only way you can beat them. I mean, you can hope they screw up, but that's not a good strategy. Um, and funny enough, this course right here, at least in Super Nintendo, used to be ran with Golden Fox, even though it's the worst vehicle. Um, the lap one, it would used to set like a crazy fast time before we knew about the double plate bound. That like early record used to use this. Oof.
That's really interesting. I didn't know
Mhm.
anything was ever done without the Stingray.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking like a long time ago.
Yeah.
But like nowadays, like MKDS Master set better times with the other vehicles, but Fox is still kind of bad on this course. But you see why they would use it. Like look at lap one. Like half the course is just going through barriers. Like that's a lot of speed loss. And especially a Stingray, like you can't really accelerate fast enough.
No.
So right here with the if you hit those 2 bounce plates, you basically hit 460 kilometers immediately instead of like a lap later. There's Mr. Riley.
How you doing, guys?
Hello.
Hola.
What are we watching here?
Well,
Shoot, you're
nobody.
watching my video?
Nope, we're not watching Riley.
What?
Uh,
That was my name there.
No, it wasn't.
no, that was Riley. You're not Riley.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Are you gunning for the record there?
Who? Manx?
Oh, who's this
Whoever,
guy?
Sam, because Sam's streaming. Oh, I've been so
Thought we were
frustrated
gonna
with
watch
the
some
White Land and
compilation
Port
video.
Town jumps that I'm taking, and also my all the records I took are kind of being crumbling. I'm just taking a break for some time from F-Zero.
Well, you were on top of the world at one point. That's what everybody wants to achieve, right?
Yeah,
You got your
it's
name
all
in the
downhill
history.
from here.
That's the curse of first place. Everybody's going after you.
Yep.
Oh, look at this. This was the original strategy somebody found on this course. I forget who it was, but the earliest way of doing Port Town was actually found. I think it was just people using Golden Fox and just boosting into the wall, and it
Yeah.
still ended up being faster. And then what's that guy's name? Starts with a B. He found that you could just break into the barrier, which saves a boost, costs a little bit of energy, but was confirmed faster. And then this super shortcut nonsense got figured out, and it's like now we can save a boost.
Yeah,
And
I
not
can't
even
wait,
stay.
Ziwi. I can't wait, Ziwi. I can't wait till you get back on 99 to see you deal with that.
I don't feel like it.
Yeah, I've spent
would.
3 days
I don't
on
blame
it.
you.
I can't. I would rather chase Edward in Super Nintendo than chasing other people in this game.
I
Because
hear you.
I can't focus on both. I don't know how Edward does it, but a lot of these runs, they look hard, but once you have a setup in muscle memory, you'll get them. And if you fail, it's like a switch. You just go again.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, my I've spent 3 days on them, and I'm nowhere near getting it. I've gotten it. I got the Whiteland one twice in a row. Got the Portland one only once every 15 attempts. But my muscle memory is building pretty slow for these.
Well, the way I can describe the one on Port Town 2, is it's similar to how the silence fast lap strategy in Super Nintendo works, where we boost into the boost plate and go over the course.
Mm-hmm.
Boosting into a boost plate is counterintuitive. It doesn't make sense, but you do gain a little bit more traveling.
Yeah,
so if you wanted to do something safer, you would boost on Port Town 1 and boost into the jump plate. You would lose time over the optimal strat, but it seems like it would be more consistent for GP.
Let me ask you this, because I want to make sure. I do think I know this, but I want to double check with you since you're more experienced. Okay, so obviously if your boost is alive while you hit the jump plate, you jump further than if you were going 478. Now, what if you're midair and you boost? Does it have any effect on your distance? Okay,
No.
good. I wanted to confirm that. Yeah.
No, you're airborne. When you're airborne, the game just locks your speed at the capped maximum. What is it? The unboosted
478.
478. The moment you jump.
So other question. You noticed in the Whiteland 1 new super skip, if you boost, you take one jump and you land on another jump. Does it think you're at 478? Say your boost is still active, but you land on another jump, and off that, is your boost active, or does it just jump you off at 478?
That's a hard question to answer, because from what I've understood, if you land on the jump plate and you're not holding down in, the game actually puts you into an animation that you like as though you hit the ground without holding down in.
Mm-hmm.
So that almost tells me that you have to be grounded for a frame. So you would probably get the benefit of the boost, but I have no way to confirm that. I would need to actually look at it. But a part of me says that if you land on the
I can
jump
test
plate,
it on Red Canyon right now.
it almost feels like if you land on the jump plate while in boost state, you would have to look at your speed. You would have to look at your speed and see if it does go above 500, because it should not go anywhere other than 478 while you're in the air.
And to me, it makes sense. Yeah, like in my mind, if you land on the plate, even boosted, you're probably still going 478. But it's really hard to tell.
Yeah, like I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that like if you land on the jump plate and you don't hold down, the game forces you to slow down by like 60 kilometers because it thinks that you hard landed. So it almost tells me that might be a coding error because that's never happened in Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. I just got a clip of it.
I was playing every now and then I play the SNES one just to. I noticed if I play the SNES one before I jump on 99, 99 feels so slow and my reaction times feel so much better.
I mean, I understand what you're saying because it's the draw distance, but
yeah,
I love the fact that you can see so much in front of you in 99, but it does give away the illusion that you're faster. I remember watching a video about it where like, what is it? It's like where they were comparing Need for Speed to like more simulation racers by like adding these little lines on the track that like go against you. So it's like, like that initial
frame rate
D
helps
shit.
too.
Yeah, it's like that initial D shit where it's like, oh, he's going super fast. But it's like you're going at the same speed, but because you're zoomed in a little bit more, it gives the illusion of speed.
I've got like a comparison video right here.
A comparison? Oh.
What the heck is this?
It's just some random video that compares the gameplay.
There you go.
Wow, side by side, it's unbelievable. Like, it's funny when I started playing 99. At first, I'm like, this looks exactly like the real game, and I mean, it does, but you never really notice the difference until you see stuff like this.
I think like the blurriness kind of contributes to making it feel faster.
It does. Like,
oh wow, look at that! Yeah,
it like tricks your brain into thinking it's faster. Another thing that tricks your brain is you notice on the left side how it's almost like there's horizontal lines in the top portion. You see what I'm talking about? There's like different shades of lines in the top half.
Yeah, it's like sort of
they're invisible on the right side. So when those lines go over those checkered boards on the track, you notice how it looks really fast. Like it's almost like double the lines that get created. Whereas on the right side, it almost looks like half speed. I think that's like one of those Mode 7 things. Like it's like a characteristic in Mode 7 is to have some kind of. It's something I don't even know what it's called.
Well, you can see in the distance the textures are getting a more whitish look to it.
Yeah,
so that's probably
a tint. Yeah. The interesting thing about Mode 7 is because I tried to recreate it a long time ago in a program called Macromedia Flash. What it is you're actually seeing, if you go from the bottom up, you are actually seeing slices of a top-down view of the track zoomed out. And each slice, it's zoomed out a little more as you go up the screen. And it gives the impression that there's perspective, that you're actually looking far away.
Yep.
Oh, so that's how that works.
Like
yeah,
it's
awesome, actually.
It's funny because like technically they're both equal speed, except for the boosting. One boost, if you're limiting yourself to one boost per lap, SNES is faster. But if you're
I can't believe how similar they are in speed. I was completely wrong about it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's also a Ultra HD 4K mod that somebody made for like the Super Nintendo for like a ROM hack.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first impression of 99 was that this got it spot on. Like this is exactly what that 99, like exactly what that 4K ultra widescreen ROM hack looked like. Because like you have a wider perspective, so that means there's more screen to see, but that also means your vision isn't super narrow anymore. Mechanics I know, which is landing as far as possible on the end of that jump plate, that I don't even have to release the accelerator. And even then, it's just I would need somebody to task it just to put a beyond.
I was wondering that maybe if it gets just tasked.
Yeah, just beyond reasonable doubt, I need somebody to task that to make sure it's impossible. Because if it's possible,
how would you even task an online game like that?
Well,
no, wait, you meant the SNES game. My bad.
Yeah, super. Yeah, if you look at
Yeah.
the this shortcut at the, it's probably on lap 1 he does it, but like it is so close to being possible in Super Nintendo that like if it's possible, I mean that is just we're fucked because we have to go for it now.
Was it you or Ed Z-Wing that was it either you or Ed that said that that shortcut was tested in the past on SNES?
Oh, so I mentioned that in his stream, but it wasn't that jump. It was the jump in front of it. Like this jump, right? The jump before
Gotcha.
you do the regular way, you can actually use that jump plate extremely wide and land on the other side, but the game detects that you skip the check. Has there been investigating on this course to see what's all possible? I mean, it's hard to say, but it
Sam,
would be. I would just love to have that doubt out of my mind because right now I feel like it has to be at least possible to touch the other side.
yeah.
And if that's the case, do you get picked up?
Hey Sam, I sent you. I tagged you in some images I put in Nexus. So this is when I was learning to use this program called Macromedia Flash, and I made a Mode 7 clone. Well, I didn't make it. I copy pasted it from clever people. I just steal stuff.
It's not stealing. It's what's that term? Fair use. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
As
I
a
mean, they
programmer,
posted
I would
the
say all
code,
code
so-
is public domain.
So,
There you go.
yeah. I mean, they posted it in a forum. It was like a learning forum thing. But okay, so see that. So what that program is doing is I have. Let me actually post one more picture. So I made this picture with like Paint or Photoshop. I don't remember because it was like a good 20 years ago. The track that you see there is actually that track, and I just took like a picture online of I forgot, Mute City, and I just cropped everything and put it together in that arrangement. Then I upload it into this game, so it's just a flat image. And what you're seeing in those other pictures is the same flat image, except if you look at the slices, it's just zoomed out. In fact, one of the pictures I increased the thickness of the slice, and you can very clearly see that it's a top-down view, zoomed out.
And that's very good.
Wow.
And that, I mean, that's my understanding of how Mode 7 works.
What the hell is this?
What are you looking at?
That picture.
Which one specifically?
It's like a track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so that's
Yeah, that's the top down.
That's the top down. Now, if you look at the other ones, all of them are actually top down, except each slice going up is slightly zoomed out, and then you get that perspective trick. So see, you can see the slices there, and it's just zoomed out.
Interesting.
And that's how you get the perspective of Mode 7.
I mean, it's a SNES. You can't get actual 3D, but like.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. You kind of have to do these tricks to make something.
Would be cool if they had if they used the like the Doom engine, which is also not really 3D, but you can have walls and height.
These brake tappings are awful.
See if this will get him talking.
What happened?
I'm just talking about how awful these brake taps are by 5 max.
I do have a legit question though. Like, is brake tapping still a thing in 99?
Oh no, we tested that day 1, and funny enough, it's not possible because of how fast your speed oscillates. Like if you go back to that video, just look at the speed while he's boosting, and like look how slow it goes down. Like you can actually watch and read it go from like 3, 2, 1, 0. But if you go on any F-Zero 99 gameplay, you can't read your speed. Like it's just going too fast.
So it's funny that it's funny that doesn't work here anymore. It just it doesn't. But there's an alternative. There's something similar in dry boosting. If you wait until you hit about 390 kilometers an hour, you boost to 600 kilometers an hour. So if you instead while you're dry boosting if you don't wait until you're under 400, you don't go as fast. So there's actually a technique to timing your dry boosts, so you can push yourself up to 600, and that's how the current Deathwind 1 Stingray world record is done.
Oh. I'm gonna need to hold on to that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because that's how the boost mechanic works. Is that like, it doesn't just set you to top speed. Like it adds a value. Like in Silence, we used to start fast laps at 400 kilometers because that's how it would get you to the top speed in like a frame. So it makes
Gotcha.
sense.
I do wish dry boosting didn't exist because I have calluses on my thumbs now.
Yeah, I wish. I definitely don't like the tech, but it would have made sense if like they put a little counter in where like it's like protecting Pokemon. Like the first
defensive.
one was guaranteed, and then the second one had a 50% chance of just blowing you up. And if you get it, then it goes to like it just keeps cutting itself in half.
The
this
one
is
positive about it is that we can find in the time attack, we can finally give Stingray a run for its money. And it, even though the current overall, like if you go to ingametime.com, the Stingrays are still like 20-second ahead of the Fox in second place for overall times.
Yeah, that was Edward's last SNES record that Sam just showed. Funny enough, there was a task of Red Canyon 2 Fast Lap like a decade ago, and it was like a 25:37. It's no longer, like the fastest time on that course because me and Edward beat it, but Edward got a 30-3.
Is there any possible shortcuts of using the arrow, like doing some weird, something similar to Whiteland 2?
We tried. Yeah, day one I was watching OBO play, and I was like, "Hey, can you test something real fast?" And he dropped it and tried it, and it's basically you can corner cut while hitting the arrow if somebody attacks you from behind and you're in the midair. But without that assistance, you can't just cut. And that's also why, like, you seen in Manx's video, he, like, popped the Skyway while he was over that little corner.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not enough to do it.
What about braking? Is there any way to possibly brake to hit the bottom side of the arrow and then hit the tip of the arrow?
I had him test that too. I wouldn't say that that's unlikely because, like, I don't know if he would have been able to do what I asked him to do, which would have been start in the bottom right of the corner and then like curve your way around while braking to hit the tip.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Like, there's so many ways to manipulate vehicles in midair, and it's very hard to do if you don't know what you're doing. But I would think if you did that kind of crazy stuff and landed on the tip, it should be possible, but I'm not sure if you can realistically do it. And if you could, it wouldn't it just be slower than landing and then just
because you're braking
and boosting.
Yeah, good point. Because you're braking and slowing down regardless.
It would be fucking cool to see though. That'd be a cool ass thing to do. But yeah, that ingametime.com board was a surprise because a lot of games could benefit from that kind of system. Like F-Zero Central shares a model with Mario Kart players, and I still feel that's one of the best ways to rank people, just because you want to be, in order to be the best in the game, you got to be best in every course, And if let's say your game isn't that popular, you don't have a way to rank anybody. It's more of just like, hey, I set a time on these courses. I mean, that's it. At least with a point system, it gives somebody incentives to like try.
Yeah, if it's, I mean, for me, the thing I like to do is I'm definitely going to try to like set some times, not world records, but just set times with all vehicles on all tracks. Just, I hope he does like an overall, like, that includes all four. But
that's what I'm surprised because like that's what I think would be better. Like the Sonic Center. I don't know if you've ever used it. It's probably an outdated website by now, but a lot of games does that. Like they'll have statistics tracked per character too.
Yeah.
And then they'll total your sums per character, and then they'll do an overall like point total. And in there, a score of 0 is considered perfect, whereas in our community, a score of 1,000 is perfect,
Yeah.
or
Oh, yeah,
10,000.
speaking of the website, how did it get hacked in the first place? What happened to that?
Eh,
Ooh, speedrun?
No, the F-Zero Central.
Probably. I don't even freaking know, honestly.
Probably Megs.
Someone got bored. Oh, nice explosion.
I blame Megs.
You know how it is. People get bored and they do stuff.
Yeah.
I wish there was a solution to the website, because right now I've seen so many people say they wanted to get into time attacking, but they can't do it because a lot, we're people. Like a lot of people don't want to do anything unless they can see the benefits of the labor, and not being able to submit times is actually hurting people who want to get into it.
F-Zero Central like really motivated me to keep playing GX and like trying to improve.
I would throw money at it if I knew it was going to be used to get the website up and running. Like I absolutely would. Like there's so many people I've met since this game come out that's like, some of them has already ordered Super Nintendo cartridges and even a Super Nintendo just to try the game. But right now, the only thing they can realistically do is speedruns of it, not time attack.
I guess the solution is either to unhack the website or make a new one.
Well, I feel like in-game time is pretty much the new alternative at this point, because it does both. It does take the times straight from speedrun.com, and it does the whole point system. So it covers all the corners.
Oh, yeah, it kind of does. I don't know. I just know I really want the website up and running. It's just there's nothing we can do. There's only one person that works on the website.
Did he? So I'm assuming. So the F-Zero Central I grew up with 20 years ago. I think it was owned by somebody else. I forgot his name, but
Mr. Fixit.
I mean, the FZC now used to be Mr. Fixit, but there was actually a different site called F-Zero Central that predates Mr. Fixit. That's when I started like posting my times in like 2002 or something like that. But that guy got burnt out after GX came on the scene, and then people started going to Mr. Fixit. But now Mr. Fixit is called F-Zero Central, so I don't know if there's like any rights or anything related to that, but I don't think they're related to the original guy.
No, the current website was made in 2006.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a second website. It was like if you had a Mr. Fixit profile, you could use it.
I think I know which website you're talking about, actually.
I think WMJ was on the original F-Zero Central. There was a guy named Rich Luke that only ran Mute City 1 and nothing else.
I know who exactly you're talking about.
Precursor to events.
Toshiyuki Ryobi. Toshiyuki was like the first Japanese player I remember seeing there, and he was demolishing everybody.
Yeah, Hori.
Are there any like videos that we could pull up from back then?
Probably Toshiyuki's and Rich Luke.
Yeah, doesn't Toshiyuki for eBay? Isn't he like top 10 in Super Nintendo right now?
Could be. I mean, his times are still strong.
People who ran this game in 1999 still have strong freaking times.
You know what's crazy? Toshiyuki Horibe also was like a master at AX. Like, still has the Sonic Oval record.
How do you even run AX?
Not
the machine.
I'm pretty sure he used Nintendo, because like there really isn't a way to run it without doing that. And yeah, funny enough, WMJ he's always been active in F-Zero, but he went from Super Nintendo champ to NTSC champ in F-Zero X, and then he was playing this game for a little bit. He's still good at the game.
Wait, is he in
Yeah.
Europe or is he in the US?
Yeah, he's in
Yeah,
Europe.
he's Dutch.
So he played on a PAL NES,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember him and this other Brazilian guy for a while were the top two contenders. And there was like a question on how like PAL times would be calculated versus the SNES. So I remember in the forums there was a whole bunch of discussion over that.
Valcrum, probably.
Yeah, I think
Valcrum, yeah, Valcrum, and I think Valcrum, but I knew him as like something Ribeiro at the time, but it was Valcrum.
Yeah, I mean, we learned a little bit about the timer in Super Nintendo around like the early 2010s, and that like pausing actually became banned around that time. But
What does pausing do?
Because in NTSC the game oscillates between 0.01 and 0.02 every frame, and it's consistent. But if you pause the game and unpause it, it could go 0.01 frame 1 and then 0.01 frame 2 after the pause, which means you could effectively speed up your time by 33%.
You know, that's funny because Rich Luke, when he came on the scene, he had YouTube. He was like the first one to have like the first like Westerner to have YouTube videos of his Meat City run, and he would pause right on the finish line. He said it was just to check if his lap time was world record worthy. Yep. And I mean, it makes sense to me. But yeah, he paused every lap. I remember that was very unique of his videos.
Yazo did that too, but he ran on PAL, so it didn't affect the time.
Gotcha.
But that was why people paused, was, you wanted to see how fast your lap phone was. But unfortunately, doing so back then also, without knowing it, gave them a little bit of an advantage. So I wouldn't be surprised if almost everybody on the ladder pre-2010 saved unnatural amounts of time, but like none of them were like unbeatable.
Mm-hmm.
Like we do live in the current age where like 2014 and on we required videos. But yeah, that was a common thing, and it's just funny that like it ended up being a band. I wouldn't call it a band technique, but
I mean, my times were never really that high. Like before the Japanese players started coming in. So back in like 2003, I did manage to get third place in the F-Zero Central, the older F-Zero Central leaderboard behind the Valcrum and what I think was WMJ. I could be wrong. But then then Rich Luke came in, Toshiyuki came in, and then I started crumbling. And then it was early on, but I up until that point, unless you were doing world record run, screenshots of your timetable was fine. And looking back, it's funny. I can't beat any of my original times, even though right now I'm like 25th on the list.
You said you're 25th on the list. What's your name on it?
Right under WMJ, Alec.
On F-Zero Central.
Yeah.
And F-Zero Super Nintendo.
Correct. I also have like MV and GX times, but
what's your name?
Alec. Back then we just used our full names because the internet was safe. So it's literally on the overall board. I'm right under WMJ.
On the overall board.
Yeah.
Overall.
Granted, now that I've been playing more 99, I can probably beat them because I'm a bit more practiced, especially with the like Whiteland 2, Firefield, and those ones.
Oh, you're probably underneath Yazo on the ladder.
Did I say WMJ? I'm sorry. I'm having a brain fart. Yazo. Number 25. What position is WMJ right now?
Wait, in Super Nintendo?
Oh, yeah. No. I'm 25th Super Nintendo overall.
Harold Christensen?
No, is he 25th now? I guess I went down.
No, you're in.
I was 25th. Wrong, not WMJ. I'm in another game, so I can't tab out because if I stop moving, I die.
You said Alec?
Yeah.
Alec Bertolucci.
That is correct.
That's with CK, right?
Huh?
ALIEK.
You know what's funny? This happened. I died anyway. Okay. This happened probably like in the 2010s. I don't know when the original website was still up. some random person was doing like some sociological experiment, and okay, back then, like I said, the internet was safe, so everybody posted their name. Then we had a forum thread where we posted like pictures of ourselves, and somebody went and looked at that and made like a separate website, like kind of comparing gamers of different like series, and he pointed out how many of us in F-Zero just pretty much all looked the same. We all had like the same generic look, like white guy with short dark hair, things like
Oh,
that.
like the old Players album. The old
Yeah.
Players
I
album.
remember looking through that. That was pretty funny. So
Yeah, I never really thought about it, but
so you're Ali Bertolucci from Italy?
Yeah. From where? Yeah.
Italy?
Yeah,
Are you
I
from
mean,
Italy or are you American?
I am originally, yeah,
Okay, so
but I'm full-blooded American at this point.
hell yeah. Actually, you're still top 30 despite it being a decade. That's crazy because, like, let's see, Edward, MKDS.
My last times were like 2003 or 2004.
Yeah, that makes sense because a lot of people that are ahead of you right now are like later players, submitting after you left. So that makes sense. You were right below Yazo, which Yazo was really highly rated.
Yeah, I remember the guy that's named Valkyrum now. He was like top 2, top 3 all the time, and
Yeah.
we were on like AIM Messenger, and he was like helping me improve.
Well, you can always go for top 10. I mean, I feel like top 10 in Super Nintendo is super freaking easy right now with save states.
I considered, like, I actually was thinking about that a few days, and now that I'm kind of Gobra Moon is starting to take over Fox leaderboard. Menx is coming for me. I might play around with the SNES. The thing is, yeah, I think with the save states, it will definitely make it easier.
So
But I kind of like, part of me is like, no, that's not how I did it 20 years ago. It's kind of like, because my whole thing is beating my previous self. But if I do it now with save states, it feels like I'm having an advantage.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel
The
about
save
it.
states are allowed?
Yeah, I would not have played this game ever again if we didn't allow save states on the ladder. Because all you're doing is you're taking away the resetting and redoing stuff. It's just making it so that you can do the course without having to sacrifice time.
That's a task right there.
So I can do the NSO F-Zero.
Yeah. Basically, if you wanted to grind Red Canyon 2, you would set up a save state at the end of Port Town 2, and then go into it for infinite retries.
Oh, that's what you meant by save states.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it in the middle of a race. Like, we made rules so that it allowed you to... I mean, the best way I can describe it, it was... Nobody wants to go through 4 tracks to get one chance at fire.
Yeah.
I will consider that.
And most of the reason I'm still playing this is because of save states.
How hard is it to master the blast, that thing you're doing right now on stream? Like, how hard is it to master the
see the
letting
speed
go of the
top right?
What, sorry?
You see the speed in the top right?
Yeah, when do you hit it?
528. And then I hold it for a few frames.
Okay.
It's not hard, and funny enough, I play worse when I don't blast tap or break tap. I actually play worse when I don't break tap.
And actually, since you're on this video, Sam, I had another question. Something I always this is true 20 years ago as it is for me now. That first hairpin, I could never get my speed up to maintain the speed the way you guys do after that corner. I always fall to like 420, 415. I could never get it as high as you guys do. Oh, but this is a fast lap.
It's a tight corner.
But how do you what do you guys do to keep your speed up so high? Is there like some technique to the blast turning?
Is it
like
lap one or lap
timing?
What lap is it?
Well, I'm talking about like the non-fast laps for Sand Ocean.
I actually released the accelerator completely, and then just boost. Yeah, because you want to actually cut into that rail, and then boost whenever you have a straight line outwards.
No. I'm talking about like that very first hairpin.
Oh, that very first one?
Yeah.
It's just 2 solid blast turns. That's all. And you
2.
should keep your speed up at like 468.
So
Like
with
blast
the
turning,
sorry, go on.
yeah, like blast turning. It's a rhythm. You'll find a rhythm, but like right here around this corner, like you see, I only dipped to 471,
Mm-hmm.
but like I did 3 blast turns there.
I'll tell you right away, if I do this, I do not look forward to the Golden Fox bump. That thing, oh my god, I invented new curse words trying to get that.
Well, you can always do fast laps.
Yeah.
One of my only 2 world records in SNES. I would get
I
an
thought
SNES
you only have 2 I could have sworn you had more.
I've held every fast lap record except Death Wind 2 since 2017. But Edward took them all except Mute City 1 and Mute City 2. And I had to reclaim those ones, like recently, like a year ago.
So see, if you were Italian, you could have had his thumbs broken, and then your records would be safe.
No, he's American. And funny enough, he used to be from the same state for me. So it took for him leaving Pennsylvania for me to be the Pennsylvania champ. Because otherwise I wasn't going to overtake him.
Has there, because like again, like I kind of got out of it. 2000, basically after snaking and GX became flying, I kind of like, I'm gonna wait a little while before playing F-Zero again. So in that time, because clearly all you guys, broke records. Have there been like social events regarding F-Zero, like kind of like what you're doing with GDQ? Have there been things like that for F-Zero?
Funny enough, yes. I think the original ones were okay. So there's a couple. There's Crystal and Stiff from Europe. Like used to have meetups because I guess they live near each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did a couple, and you could probably find the videos on YouTube for GX. WMJ did like DreamHack, like him and Daniel, and I think even Melissa, like were there. But in like America, like the only meetups we've ever done besides GDQ is at Oval's house, and we haven't done that since COVID.
Gotcha. We did do it like for 3 years though, like 3 separate occasions.
Yeah,
that was the highlight of F-Zero career for me.
Same.
Yeah. I'm sure we'd do it again, but like, you know how the world is right now. You gotta wait until it's
that and 99 kind of break. Like the one thing that I don't like about 99 is there's no like local multiplayer, which they could have just taken from the what do you call it, F-Zero to BS. Like that allowed for local multiplayer, if I recall correctly.
I'm not sure. I know it'll.
I mean, I have a cartridge. I don't think that's a thing.
They don't. There wasn't a split screen option.
No, I don't believe so.
Oh,
I think you're talking about LAN play.
There was definitely a multiplayer aspect to it, though.
Next Level Gaming, that's right. So this should be Daniel. Oh, CGN, that's right. He was in one of these.
Yeah, CGN, Daniel, WMJ. I think there's Edward at one of those, right?
I think so.
I need to finish F-Zero X.
I definitely want to do some kind of meetup for F-Zero because this is, along with StarCraft, it's my favorite game of all time.
There was also, there's been some hype European meetups, and there's also been meetups in Japan. I think Brave has been involved with that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm in the U.S., so it'd be easier if it were for me.
You live
in the U.S.
close to Pittsburgh?
I live in California.
Oh, that sucks because
it does.
In Pittsburgh, and we already got me, FIFA, AKC, I believe Draco Dan are definitely going, and Ted Bear.
One David J as well.
And one David J as well.
I am broke, and I live on like the other side of the country. I cannot go to it.
And that's assuming it even happened. They could always like force it online. But yeah, I mean, there's been intent to make meetups happen on a regular basis, but
If
we hit a wall.
Nintendo keeps putting some power behind this 99, then the popularity will be higher than it was in the last 20 years.
Oh, it's at the highest it's ever been.
Yeah.
It's been
And, like-
crazy how many new faces have been in this server since.
Yeah. And that's why I'm still a little disappointed that we don't have a website up, because this could have been a massive influx in users on our website.
Oh yeah, so Zewing, where in the for the records that you're going to work on now, say you do something at GDQ, where are you submitting these times if FCC is hacked?
What was that?
I think you submit them at speedrun.com.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's a full game speedrun. We don't track RTA on FCC, which I think we should, but it would be more of verified F-Zero members, what their leaderboard would be, but speedrun.com kind of accomplishes that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, it's a lot better of an entry barrier for people because
I didn't see an
speedrun-
individual track time on speedrun for Snap
Well,
F-Zero.
we don't track them there. We use it on F-Zero Central.
Oh, but so that's what I'm confused. So, but FCC is hacked now. So what happens if?
You can still submit to the site if you have an account.
Oh,
Yeah.
what if? I don't remember my account, Pat. Actually, I never made an account there because they were literally my times were literally transferred over from the old F-Zero Central. So
Yeah, but
you can't.
that's
It's
your username,
impossible
right?
to make a new account.
But that's your username, right?
I mean, that's what my name was on the old site. I never actually made an account on FCC.
What are those your times?
Yeah, but they were transferred from the old website.
But that's what I mean. If that's your account, I mean, they could probably get you access because they can't create new accounts right now. But if that account already exists, I'm sure they would be able to get you to use it again. It's your account.
I might do that. I might go into that, and I know I can improve sometimes, like Firefield and Whiteland.
Look at all this 99 activity.
Yeah, funny enough
Yeah,
that
it's so nice.
I mean, he is literally 2006, the best player from 2006 in SNES, and he hasn't touched the game since then. But now he's carrying it up. He's setting some records.
Whoa! What's this? What is this website?
What?
Wait, what am I looking at here?
This is the
Oh.
community update by Yazo.
Yeah, Yazo tracks by month or every 2 months the activity of the game. So at the top there is the F-Zero Central activity from each game.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. He's done it. He previously did it every month for years, but recently it's changed to every 2 months.
And I saw Gobra Moon at Tom, the bane of my existence.
Gobra Moon?
Yeah. Dude is
he-
going to end up owning all of Fox leaderboard.
I seen an interesting leaderboard that was linked from the Japanese community. They took all the runs together, and they would actually highlight which vehicle had the better time.
That's what I want to see too. I want to see a leaderboard that has all 4 cars mixed in.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's hard to say since the game tracks everything. So when you think about it, every single course should have 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And they should all be equally weighed. And then, if anything, if your time happens to be the best, you should get a little bonus point there because that's an actual record. It's not just the vehicle record; it's the overall record. Because we don't normally mix stuff like that. We just determine who has the best time.
Yeah.
But at least in this game, it does open it up to if you just want to be a Fire Stingray player, you can do that. You just want to be a Fox player, you can just do that. Or maybe you want to kind of do what they do with other F-Zero games and just pick the fastest vehicle possible and then master that course.
Sam, if you while you're watching this video, when he starts dry boosting, you will notice that he waits until he dips under 400 before boosting again.
399.
Why is that?
Because it'll push you up to 600.
Oh.
It's
I
how
don't
the,
What
know.
happens if you boost above 400?
You stay. It'll keep you under 600. I do
Okay.
like Fenner. Fenner is another good racer. He tried to explain it to me, but clearly he's really good with like computer software and stuff. I don't understand any of that. He tried to explain it to me. It goes in one ear, out the other. I just trust him, and I tested it, and it works. I don't know why it works, but it works.
Yeah, I know why.
You do?
Yeah, it's just how the speed works. Like, it adds a value to your speed. And if that value exceeds a certain value, I guess it, like, deducts it a little bit. It's
Yeah.
like on Silent. We used to do fast stops on Silent by starting at, like, 420 kilometers an hour because it was so hard to be 478 and then boost the frame later. That's essentially the concept, is that, like, it's working with that kind of fluctuation. Because, like, if you, like, for instance, if you're at 430 and you boost, it doesn't push you to max speed immediately. It's just one of the things about the S boost or whatever. I mean, it's not an S boost; it's still a boost, but it's just how it works. I mean, I'm sure he can have data analysis to tell you it.
Yeah. When I told him like,
Just know it
you know
works.
what? I told him like, yeah, you know what? This is going a bit over my head, and he's like, let me explain it to you in like hexadecimal. And then instead of numbers, he started doing like E5, I7. I'm like, yeah, that definitely helps. Thank you.
Yeah, I remember this run. This run's still improvable by like more than a tenth, but like I don't think anybody's beaten this run yet.
It's still the world record.
I think it is, but it's also the only one I've actually put effort into. And it was just because there was just one guy on SR Calm that I didn't know who the hell it was, but I think he was French. And I was like, yeah, I can't allow him to beat me. Or maybe he's Italian, I don't know.
Whatever.
It's
Some
the guy who-
non-American and therefore not worthy.
Well, it was like, you got your pride. It's like, hey, I'm the F-Series speedrunner here. Who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
I think it's the guy who currently owns the Deathwind 1 world record.
Well, every
For
time I
Fire
see
Stingray.
Gobra on top of a list, I tell myself, I got to take this record for America.
You can beat him.
I was gonna say on the using the other vehicles, the one thing that keeps me away from trying to speedrun GX is the fact that you either have to use Fat Shark or one of the locked vehicle parts.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to do if you have Action Replay, but like, if you have Nintendo, I'm sure there's someone who can like send you information on how to do it without even having to get
Yeah.
Action Replay. But you're not wrong. Like, for the longest time in GX, we thought that like the locked vehicle part wasn't even that helpful. But like, I did a lot of testing with it using side attack chaining, and like I was losing half a second.
Oh wait,
on-
so you
on
need
the
some
opener.
of the what do you call it? Game genie? What was it, like the game genie? You need some of the parts that are only unlockable through like the game genie.
It was the AX. Like, you had to take your memory card to a machine in Japan, and it would give you AX card parts.
I do
And-
have like Fat Shark and a bunch of other stuff unlocked because I did have like I forgot what it was called. I forgot what it was called. Game Genie, but
Actually,
I did
it's
unlock some of the parts that way.
I kind of thought that Maximum Star was just marginally better than Combat Cannon.
No, it is significant if you're side attack heavy. Actually, it's not even side attacks. Every MTS you perform, you lose a lot of speed compared to, like if you're using combat cannon versus star. Like, we're talking like about 100 kilometers an hour difference per MTS. So like,
What's MTS?
that's an advanced technique where it's where you see people curving in GX. But like,
Is it for maximum velocity?
No, in GX.
No. Sorry, I mean, but is it for like there's three categories like snaking, open, and
It's predominantly in max speed, but it's in every
Gotcha.
single
Yeah.
one.
do
but,
people
like-
still do that trick where you're like about to fall off the track and then shove yourself back on?
People shift boost, yeah.
Shift boost. It's gotten a lot more ridiculous since your time. Go watch Casino Palace Double Branches World Record. And when you're done watching that, go watch Cosmo Terminal Trident.
That was the first map I was gonna mention.
Yeah, because like, and also when you're done with that, go watch Aeropolis Dragon Slope. That's probably the best one to watch because that looks really fucking sick.
Yeah, I think GX is the most daunting F-Zero game.
Oh, it is.
I'll be back in like 15 minutes.
Like I will
skill
respect,
ceiling is insane.
like I will respect a top 50 player, like a top 50 player in GX more than I will a top 10 player in Super Nintendo. Like the difference is just that massive.
It's because there's really no limit to how good you can get.
I've also considered trying to get this record back.
Yeah, like
I remember watching this video so much because of this one stupid jump.
Yeah,
I
that
hate
jump's
that
fun.
jump.
Yeah, I wanted to go for that record again. 99, and now GDQ.
You're one of the few players that can really match him on some of these Fat Shark courses. Like, I know you competed with him on Long Pipe. Well, kinda.
Oh yeah, I almost had the record on there once. I still want to do GX. It's just I can't do side attacks like that crazy anymore. Like I've regressed in GX. Like I can still do non-SA Fat Shark runs, but like I'm not the same player I was like several years ago. Like I don't have that skill anymore, and I would have to sacrifice my hands, or maybe get gloves. Which right now I got a set of gloves that are working with my left hand. But if I were to do GX, I would need one for my right hand because right hand's how I do side attack. So it's because I need a glove for my left hand in Super and a glove for my right hand in GX. I use default controls.
Oh, okay.
But I can't play the game otherwise. Like I've done the same thing in Mega Man. You know, people are like, "Hey, you should just shoulder dash," and then you try it, and then it's like, "Can you go down Mute City Serial Gaps record?" Because like,
oh yeah,
isn't that like it's like recent and it's a big deal because that's fucking fast. Sub 40 on a Serial Gaps is just ridiculous.
yeah.
And like anything else, I mean, you know, the games with the most time saved is also the game with the hardest times to beat, and that's GX. That game still has it's got like almost an infinite ceiling. Holy fucking shit, this is bad.
This is like your classic
Is this-
3D F-Zero. The track is just a suggestion.
Yeah.
This is why GX is so fun. Look at that. That looks very fun. Just very hand-breaking.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, that is a lot of us have done that strategy. It's just this is the absolute peak. Like I think my run's still like 6 seconds slower than this. And I do the same fucking strategy. It's just they're utilizing the boosting mechanics better. They're utilizing the shift boost better. Like, I mean, this game has no ceiling whatsoever. Like, you can play Super Nintendo, Maximum Velocity, Climax, GPL, and you can look at runs and say, realistically, this is how fast we can go. And you can get to within, like, a couple tenths of a second. And you can be like, hey, this is the limit. We are not exceeding this ever. And then you go to GX and it's like, my sum of best is about 10 seconds faster than the current world record. Will it happen? No. Because you could just get these freak shift boosts, or you could just...
Whoever can exploit the physics the best, basically.
You literally just described Loop Cross to me, and I
Yeah.
don't want to go back.
It's like...
And I say that as the record holder. Like, I don't want to go back.
Oh, I'll make you go back. Don't worry. Oh, it's definitely. I would still put this as like the best F-Zero to run. Like even though it's the most advanced, it's still the best to run. Like the resources are the best in the game. Like more people run this than any other F-Zero game.
Would you say it's like the easiest to get into?
No.
I mean,
I'm still trying to learn how to
I mean, I think it has the easiest
MTS.
space to get it to because it's like Super Nintendo is just
Back.
you kind of just pretend SNES doesn't exist because it's really basic. But in terms of games outside of Super Nintendo, quick turning and MT are the two techniques that make the foundation for every technique in the game. If you can learn those, you can do everything. Like you can
Yeah,
just spend solid time with just
Yeah, and MT is such a weird mechanic. Like no other game really makes you do anything like it.
What's the letters stand for?
Momentum throttling.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't use dick jokes for our techniques like Zelda. Like ours actually makes sense.
Yeah, but like I am struggled with MTS ever since I picked it up.
That is, if you can master MTS, I mean that's just it.
Yeah.
That is your key to breaking into like the top 20, top 30, even top 10 is MTS.
You can master MTS, you can dodge a ball.
Yep.
Because either like I go too slow and I go straight, or I go directly 90 degrees.
Yep.
Into the wall.
I had a trouble learning it.
It's pretty hard to learn. It's not like sliding in X where you just run to the wall.
Well, my problem was when I learned it, nobody told me that using the opposite shoulder button was how you sharpened or controlled your MTS. So I was doing full ass MTS curves around every rail, and I kept fucking it up. But once someone told me you had to actually use the other shoulder button to like decrease the radius a little bit, that's when I started doing much better.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I have to use a jank controller, and this controller I have stops the bumper buttons halfway.
Yeah, I would say for GX, you're pretty much required to have an OEM.
I would.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's almost like F-Zero X. Like you have to have a good solid ass controller, and it's got to be original. Oh, is this world record holder 5-bat?
I will say though, we have seen like a number of players that have started getting world records on like emulator with Xbox controllers and whatnot on X and GX.
Yeah, that's what I use. But like I said, the trigger buttons are stopped halfway, so I can't like push them down all the way.
I will challenge this run one day, 5-bat. Don't worry.
Are you planning
good
to
luck.
do,
Your fingers will.
You planning
Your fingers
to do
will
GX
hate you for
anytime
this.
soon?
Not soon, but eventually.
Yeah, you saw.
What was your first F-Zero? Was it SNES?
No, it was GX.
GX was your first F-Zero ever?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't play Super Nintendo and started speedrunning it. But I played F-Zero GX as a kid.
Were you was it before your time, or was it SNES GX? Was it SNES before your time?
I was born in '93.
Okay, so that answers that. Yeah.
But I never played Super Nintendo. I grew up with Mario Kart or Super Mario Kart, Kart or Double Dash. I played all these before I even played GX. GX was just fucking hard. Like it was a hard fucking game, but you don't think about that. You just play it.
It was really.
It's not it is a hard game.
It's the first one where I thought like, okay, this does live up to the SNES one, because like the when X came out, I was a little disappointed with the there's no skin, like it kind of looked very plain, and I don't know if it was kind of really different from the SNES one for me, so I didn't vibe with me. And the Maximum Velocity one, which was the first one on the Game Boy Advance, I thought played really well, and it's the reason I got into speedrunning, but I didn't like honestly, I didn't like the music. I didn't like that it wasn't placed in the same time as the original 4 machines. So it was more of a lore issue for me.
Yep. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, this is funny enough. We're just talking about Beat City 4, but if you play this course, it looks the same here, and then you notice there's all these zippers. And once you get to like the third one, you'll see wind like right here will push you against it will push you towards the jump plate. So I don't even know how this course would be in 99 mode, but it would probably be
awesome.
a lot. It would be pinballing at the end. People's going to be hitting the inside of that corner. You're going to lose a lot of speed because it's not going to retain speed like this game.
Yeah,
but it's going to be crazy.
Well, one thing's for sure, it'll even the playing field for all 4 cars because there's really no point to dry boosting here.
And honestly, there is no boost point. For boost points right here, these first 3 corners. That's it.
Right.
That was
right
the
back.
most annoying issue about Music City, that you're required to boost at that one specific area.
You're not required to.
Aren't you?
Not unless you want to lose 30 positions.
No, you can just not boost and stick in front of people that are boosting.
That's true.
You know what's funny?
That's the only way I can try and beat a Fox in that course is if I do that kind of strat. And it sucks because it still doesn't help enough.
Funny thing, this Luna Bomber would actually be the most optimal machine if they added it because like its refill basically matches like 99 Fox.
Yeah, it's
and
in
then it has
99
Stingray
mode.
speed.
Yeah, in 99 mode, it would be optimal, but in Super Nintendo mode, Fire Stingray is still more optimal than Luna Bomber. But in a battle
Blue too.
Yeah, but in a battle royale mode, absolutely, this vehicle would be just dominant. And if you notice, every time it turns, look at its speed. Like it does slow down. So this is a vehicle where you would want to maximize jump height on jump plate, and it's a solid vehicle. And it also does. You can still do the blast, the brake tapping that you do in SNES. Just that one. What is it like? 2 kilometers per hour difference is still enough for Fire Stingray to have the advantage overall. Crazy. I don't even know if anybody really speedruns this game anymore because it's only one league.
I mean, I have it. I've got the
Maximum velocity. I tried it. My emulator could not handle it for some reason.
Well, and the cartridge is stuck in my Super Nintendo. That's not good.
Yep. But no, 99 has definitely been good for F-Zero in general. I mean, I love some of the Reddit threads. I don't know if you guys read any, but some of them were so freaking hilarious.
Can you? No, I haven't. I don't even know how to get there. But what's some of the funny stuff they're talking about?
I know a lot of them were just bitching at people for being good at the game and saying like that's unfair. And half the comments are like, "Shut the fuck up and get better," you know.
Yeah, that's the right response. It reminds me of when Fall Guys first came out, and you would see those TikTok videos of like tryhards ruining gaming or whatever.
Yeah, and the bad part is like I watched a lot of F-Zero 99 streams since it came out. I watched some funny people that were like, they would look at somebody with 99 wins and be like yes, this guy's a tryhard, disgusting, and it's like 99. I'm over here with over 1,000 wins. What the hell am I?
Ironically, like I haven't even had to try hard to get 99.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people I had to explain that? It's every other day you have to explain to somebody that like your rank, like they think I heard some people say like, oh, now that I'm S5, I keep getting placed against S20. They don't realize that there's no like you are placed. It's first come first serve, and
another thing that bothers me is that like everybody's S20 now, and it's like that ranking system just sucks. Like
absolutely,
it's like everybody's S20. Like, I'm watching people who are S20, and it's like they still want to how to break tap or blast turn or whatever the technique's called.
Yeah, it's very. I thought it was so annoying from the start because like S should be the equivalent of getting S20.
Yeah, like when I started this, it took me forever just to get to S2, and then everybody else is doing it day one because now everybody is 20. Like you got a higher ranked player base. That means you're going to gain rank faster than when we started.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my first day I got to like. I think I was like A minus. I think I got the highest rank before anybody else first day, and then from there I went to sleep, and then I woke up, and it's like, here you go, S2.
Do you think if they had like the S rank go all the way up to like 100 or something would be better? Or...
I mean, it would still do the same thing that it's doing right now. Like, you would just keep naturally getting, you know, it would just, everybody would keep elevating each other until you just got to the point.
They should just make it that you are. They should just make it that you are punished more severely for losing, and that like the only way to advance in points is if you beat all 4 rivals. If you beat 3, then like at higher ranks you should either lose or stay even.
It should be 3 or 4. You have to beat 3 or 4 to gain. But if you do 2, it should be equal, and if you only do 1 or 0, you should lose. That would, because right now, if you just beat 1, you at least stagnate. You stay the same. Yeah. But I do.
So I'm at the point now where I get like 1 win, and I get XP still.
And you know what's funny? It's actually easier to maintain S20 now, even if you only like, because the higher S20s now are starting to do riskier and riskier strategies. So you always have at least one S20 die out before you.
Yeah.
I go for victories. I don't give a fuck about my rank. Like, unless there was something that rank signifies, like, it just doesn't mean anything. It'd be different. What they should do is if you get S20, you just lock your rank in and say, hey, this guy has mastered the game. You know, if you beat him, you get like a bonus point or something. That would be better, but whatever. It was fun.
To be honest, though, like, I don't think about their rank when I think about how good someone is. I just look at their level because it actually shows like how long they've been playing.
Yeah, but that too. I mean, most of the people that won the leaderboard had like 0 wins. It's just whoever grinded the GPs. And even wins, like, I don't know.
Speaking of that, I have been grinding this game for, since it came out. And I am surprised how consistent some people can get wins, and I have no idea how to do that. Because I play good, but, like, people obviously play better and riskier.
Do you have a job?
Yes, I do.
There you go.
That's your problem.
Do you have
Zero's your job now.
See, this game is the ultimate, like, needs 5 years working experience, but then you have to be 18 years or older, and then it's illegal to work if you're less than 13.
Yeah.
Like, this is that kind of game because, like, I got the advantage over everybody when this game came out. So it's not hard for me, but I still had to work for it. Like, you guys, like, the people play evolve over time. So, like, you can't just use the same strategy and win. People just going to figure it out. But good play is always going to win. Like, you should be thinking about situations on, like what vehicle do you use, by the way?
I've been using Blue Falcon more now.
Okay, well, you lost by default, so sorry.
I'm playing with Blue Falcon on Mute City, actually.
I will tell you right away that if you time attack Blue Falcon, you have a higher chance of getting world records because there's already many strong Stingray players. There's strong Fox players. There's an insanely strong Goose player. There's not a very dominant Blue Falcon time attacker right now.
Yeah,
maybe I should do that. I have some time attacks already. I could on different vehicles, but I could probably do that.
Yeah, what you really should do, you should time attack. Because you get ideal racing lines, and those help you a lot. Like, even though only in a perfect world you can like actually use those lines, but it's a base that you can use.
Yeah.
It's better to work from perfect line to racing than it is to race into a perfect.
Yeah. Oh, that's a question. Do all the 4 vehicles share similar lines, or are they different? Okay.
Because the grip from all of them is all different. So, like, for instance, the Golden Fox, unless I'm mistaken, like, if you're cornering and you're not... If you're cornering, you lose speed somehow. Like it's weird how they explain it, but
Yeah.
the optimal way to corner with Golden Fox is to not have the accelerator held. And generally speaking, when you corner like that, you should probably be boosting out of it too.
Yeah.
So, but Spire Stingray, you could just stay 478 the whole freaking course. So you technically don't have to even boost if you're ahead of people. Like there's some laps where I'll just be like, I'm so far ahead, why do I even have to risk a boost? And then you maintain the energy advantage, and then when you get to the final lap, most people are already smoking, whereas you're up there with 3/4 of a health, and it's like daring them to try to overtake you because they can't.
Yeah.
But a Blue Falcon, unfortunately, like, I mean, you have good natural speed. It's at 450 something?
456, and then it oscillates.
Yep, that's not bad. That's actually good speed.
Yeah.
It's even though it's third place among all vehicles, 456 over 460 is still very fast.
Yeah.
Because the only people that are going to outpace you is a Fire Stingray that hasn't been getting smacked around a bit, or a Goose, and a Goose is usually covered in blood, so it's not at top speed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Goose doesn't really maintain its top speed very well at all.
So just good overall play with that vehicle. I mean, I can see wins out of it. It's just you're losing speed every frame that you're up against somebody who's really good at Fire Stingray.
I mean, as someone who doesn't really competitively do like time attack and get records and all that, I don't see a major difference in all four machines. Like I've won Grand Prix with all all three of them.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah, so it's like it might be that the Blue Falcon is the weakest, but it's still like perfectly. You could definitely still win with it.
It's the weakest just because it's the most average.
Yeah, like the way I look at this game is like I still think this is the best version of F-Zero to play. And you're not wrong. Like if you screw up once with any vehicle, whatever advantage you had over every other vehicle in the field is gone. So like as good as Fire Stingray is, if I get like pushed down to like 400 kilometers once, well, whatever advantage I would have over Blue Falcon in the same situation, goes away.
Yeah, I always thought of the Blue Falcon as being like a budget Fire Stingray.
Yeah.
That's basically how I
saw someone mention in this server that mastering the Blue Falcon is mastering the game itself.
I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, every vehicle can win. It's just
I do run the Blue Falcon and Stingray much differently because, like, with the Stingray, my whole goal is just to get up to top speed and just maintain it. And so, like, I'll save all my boosts just in case I screw up and need to like get back up to.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like the Blue Falcon has to rely on a good Skyway.
I mean, most vehicles do, but well, let me think.
I've occasionally front run with the Blue Falcon like nearly the entire race, and
like a good
Fox at the top of the pack at the start, and I never got a Skyway, and I ended up getting first. Yeah,
I think like a good Fox never sees a Skyway.
Yeah, no. A good Fox should be at the first place the entire race.
Yeah, like that's their position. Stingray, has to get a Skyway. Like as good as I am with it, I have to get a Skyway, but I won't sacrifice field positioning to make it happen. Kind of like Firefield.
Yeah, it's like my usual game plan with the Stingrays. I will, on the first lap, build a Skyway, the Super Boost, and then that will take me up to like maybe top 10, and then from there I just kind of run the track really well, and like I'll usually get a top 10 finish.
That's pretty much how you play it. I mean, outside of Mute City, that's how you play Fire Stingray.
Right.
Mute City, you just don't play it; you just deal with it.
You just skip Mute City, like in Grand Prix, you just go on to the next race.
Yeah, like for Fire Stingray on courses where I use Sky Boost, I should have Sky Boost.
Why is Mute City so polarizing?
You can't win if a Golden Fox gets in first place and knows how to maximize the boost strategy. You literally cannot win.
Oh yeah, I suppose you're right.
The other problem I think with Mute Cities is this: they're so short and they're so easy that the pack is just so clustered, and like the difference between like 5th place and 50th place is like a couple like fractions of a second, you know.
It's also because
That's
it's
how
simple.
it feels anyway.
It's the simplest course. Like
Yeah.
like no complexity means that you're gonna have closer time. Like if you look on
Right.
like FCC's SRPR rankings, like Deathwind 1 has the closest percentage of people being close to each one another, and it's because of how basic the course is.
Mhm.
You know, it's the same thing on New City 1. There is nothing major. It's just right turns.
It's like I've had so many Grand Prix where like I'll get some random placement on Mute City, but then like the rest of the tracks I'll get top 3 or something. So yeah.
And that hurts when you're trying to get
the
the Grand Prix wins because Mute City is like the one thing that blockades you from a good run.
I've been able to win one Grand Prix with a 28th place finish on Mute City 1.
Yeah.
Or Mute City 2. But
I remember the first time on the King League, the first time on King that I got a decent Mute City 3, like the rest of the Grand Prix was like the pressure was on because I'm like, oh, I could finally potentially get first. It was just so stressful because I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, that's one thing that did irritate me with Mute City is that like it did become a make it or break it. Like you cannot win a Grand Prix if you don't get like top 10 on Mute City 1. Like it was just not possible. I mean, shit, I've even lost Grand Prix where I've gotten 5th place on Mute City 1. Like at Yuji-san or whatever his name is, like, you know, he at least made it fun and interesting, but when you just get 30th, 40th place, it's like, what's the fucking point of even trying? You know you're not going to win.
Yeah.
You can be first place outright. He just, you know, your opponent's just, they don't have to try. Like 5 races is not a lot. Is he going to do the Super one? Oh, okay, he does.
Yeah.
So he delayed it a little bit, but this is like that is just disgusting right there. Like
yeah,
like that is absolutely putrid. That's the strategy. Like not only did he take the shortcut, he saved resources. You generally have to waste a resource when you not do that. So he's +1 on resources, and he's at full health on lap 3. Like fuck that. This is GG.
Can you
generally
this
speaking,
week I'm gonna save up tickets for next weekend so I can try to just constantly try the Grand Prix.
How do you guys feel about the whole ticket system?
Hate it.
It's fine.
I think it serves its purpose.
I mean, the way I don't really care for it because I don't care about the leaderboard, but I understand the reason behind it. Like it.
Yeah.
They make it feel like it matters.
Yeah, because if you didn't do that, you would probably have nobody who plays the game until free weekend.
Yeah. You need people to play the other modes, so
it's pretty easy to grind tickets though, at the very least.
Yeah.
Like,
it is.
Like save up for a weekend, so like that part I don't mind. But
yeah, it basically does its duty, which like
the
way to grind. Like if you have low tickets, using the probe tracks is how you would grind tickets fast.
Yeah.
But at least
I play Pro Tracks no matter what because that's where Mute City is gone. But yeah,
for now,
I was afraid when King League came out that Mute City 3 would be in Pro Tracks.
Oh, I know.
Because
I knew it wasn't.
Like before King League came out, all the track comparisons were between tracks in their own leagues, and since there wouldn't be any King League tracks in regular, Mute City would have to be in Pro. They broke that after King League came out, so thankfully that.
No, you can think of pro tracks as technical tracks. Like Big Blue is more of a pro track than Mute City will ever be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it does also like easy once all the mines have been destroyed. It's like then it's just like the simplest Mute City from there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mute City 3 is just basically Mute City 1.
Well, it doesn't have the
I think the mines should regenerate.
Oh, that would be scary. It doesn't have the jump plate, and I remember talking to Abney about this because he was like, "Hey, what's your strategy for Mute City 3?" And it's like, I never played it, but what I can tell you is that not having those jump plates does put a little bit more pressure on like Fox players. because now you don't get that guaranteed refill, and plus those walls are jutted in on the outside. You could do some nasty strategies where you can, like, scrape somebody into those.
Oh, I think
walls.
that's not Riley in this video.
Does he explode?
Where am I? Does it say my name?
You're right in front of WMJ.
This must be from like a month ago.
Yeah.
That's a goose.
Goose is loose.
Yep.
Not a goose.
I love watching Wild Goose players on this game too. Like,
yeah,
they've definitely perfected the art of like killing people.
They became Pico.
That's the other polarizing thing about Mute City is it always seems to get voted for in the 99 mode.
Oh, no, I was actually thinking about this. The game, 90% of the time, has a Mute City in the voting screen.
Yeah.
Like, the game forces that.
Well, Mute City.
I can't tell you the last time I played Sand Ocean.
I miss Sand Ocean.
Right?
I think I played Sand Ocean like once today, out of like 100 races.
I love Mute City, but
I had to go to a Grand Prix to play Sand Ocean.
I love it, and it's only because it's a course that like I actually went on, but it's not a free win. It's like you still have to execute, but
yeah,
it's at least a funner course. Like, shit can happen. Like, if people block me from overtaking from lap 1, like it's very hard for me to win. But like if the people in front of me are foxes, I just don't give a shit. As long as there's no stingray in front of me, I have no problem waiting on a victory there.
When
like
I was a fire stingray, I would use if I had a skyway, I would use it at the last hairpin because I could take the first hairpin very easily. But now with the other vehicles, I'm not sure where to use it.
I literally use, like, my whole strategy on Sand Ocean is get first place.
Yeah.
Like, I have, like, it is the most barbaric strategy out there, but it is the only course for Fire Stingray where I feel if you get first place, you cannot lose. It's the only course. It's actually the most unfair conditions in this game. It's more unfair than this shit right here with those foxes in front of this Stingray. Like, that race is over right now for this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, this is a YouTube video, so he probably wins. But let's say it was the other way around, and it was Stingray in front, and Fox in back, and it was Sand Ocean. There's nothing you can do there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could try to overtake, but if you try to overtake, you get spin attacked into. And I don't have
like a 6-second lead victory on Sand Ocean with the Fire Stingray once. It felt so good.
Yeah, I guess he did.
I've never gotten a 10-second victory on Sand Ocean. I've gotten close.
No, I was gonna say. I just remembered.
That's probably me right there. I'm pretty sure that was my skin before Queen League come out.
How often do you guys change your skins?
Never.
I change them sometimes.
Stick with the gold.
Dr. Stewart has only one skin.
I don't like. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like the gold skin, or at least how it looks. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm in this race with him because I remember losing to. Oh, that was me.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure that's me. Yeah, because I've lost a couple times at WJ, and I've lost a couple times to Yazoo.
Oh, Lunaire was
Lunaire.
This was the Fire Stingray Lunaire, so. Yeah.
Was I in this match? I do not see me.
Yeah, that was definitely me because I blew up. I mean, I would have to look the video again and like pause it, but I'm pretty sure I was me.
I never ever played Deathwind.
It's not fun. Deathwind is just a coin toss. Have you ever seen WMJ's like F-Zero X records?
Like, they're insane.
Mute City ones. It's like the degree of difficulty in that game is crazy. And
yeah, that's why like I don't know. Some of those records are insane.
Like, at least in GX, you can like it makes sense. But in that game, it's like, oh, you have to perform this glitch, and then you have to look at this certain part of the sky for like 10 seconds, and then you can die. GX, it's just continuously build up your speed to unheard of heights. At least I like that part. I just don't like the way they do stuff. Like some of the fast laps in F-Zero X are literally you're so high up that you can just air drift a whole lap without touching the ground and just win. Like I think the silent one fast lap in F-Zero X is just dumb.
Yeah, AGG is stupid. It's a good thing that like it's not really able to be used like so much. It just makes the boring tracks less boring.
Yeah, I mean it's a thing. Like every game they have their own ladder, and even in the jumper ladder they don't allow AGG, but you can still do air controlled DTDs in with jumper settings. So really, it's just like the less glitchy version of the open ladder. Yeah, I wasn't too much of a fan of the gold skins either. I just used the ones that looked fun.
Yeah. I like the black skin you get for an individual win.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I try to stick with colors I don't see most people use, like greens or something.
The only green I like is green on the blue Falcon. I think that one looks nice.
Yeah, pretty good.
And here it is. Fire Stingray front running on Sand Ocean.
Yep. Literally nothing you can do here.
The single player experience.
Yep. I mean, you don't even need boosting to win here, by the way. Like, this is probably this is one of the only courses I think you could win without boosting.
Yeah, because
like if you ever wanted a challenge video idea, Riley, this is it.
No Say boosting. That again. Sorry.
If you wanted to do your challenge video, this is it. No boosting, win on F-Zero 99. It has to be this course. There's no other course you can do it in.
What, a Stingray?
Sixth place win.
Yeah. And you would also have to get one of the good presets.
You know, it would be a fun video, but yeah. I mean, I think you were right. As Stingray, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Well, I mean, it would have to be like you couldn't be in it, of course. It would have to be that kind of video.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If I'm in it, you lose. But I'm not in it because I'm not playing this game anymore.
So do you ever? I mean, after GDQ, do you plan to come back?
I don't know.
Really, you're that deep into the SNES one that you will give this one up?
I mean, I already said it from the start. I don't care about F-Zero 99. F-Zero 99 is just content creation. I care about the speedrunning aspect. Like, there's more for me to care about beating Edward in SNES than beating him in 99.
I totally get that because I think that's one thing all SNES players have in common, at least before 99, that it's all about time attack, and I fully agree. Like, I just feel like 99 has such fertile ground and opportunities that can be explored. What the fuck am I looking at?
You're watching a flying vehicle.
This run is beautiful, by the way.
Is this human control?
Yes. Yeah, this WMJ.
What the hell, man?
Yeah, here's your suicide.
F-Zero X is funky.
Yeah, I mean that's not even the hardest shit in the game. Like, have you ever seen like Sector?
If you want to see something,
excuse me, guys. F-Zero X patch when?
Never.
If you guys want to see something truly insane in F-Zero X, you need to watch the Taz of Whiteland 1.
This guy's going the wrong direction. I don't know if you noticed. What the hell is this?
This is the world record.
You got to go backwards to go forward.
Yeah, like in that movie. This is just illegal, man. This is not.
I love that movie.
Yeah, this is just a ridiculous strat that he has to do here.
So this is hilarious. I'm glad that it exists, but this is the kind of stuff that kind of deters me from further speedrunning back in 2003, 2004.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
That's why like there's multiple ladders nowadays. Like I came around in 2013, 2014. So when I came around, we already had established rules for the most part. We had 3 ladders for GX. We had jumper, for F-Zero X, and then every other game had one ladder.
Yeah, I mean, GX has had multiple ladders since like the release, basically.
Well, unless I'm mistaken, back then, like it took them forever to even separate snaking from max speed from space and GX. Like they just.
So that was on the original F-Zero Central site. We only had, at the time when I started, we had the SNES MV, SNES X and MV. Then GX came out, and that's kind of like where the guy got burnt out from updating the times manually. But at the time, it was just a single ladder. Then Snaky came around, and it was all one ladder. And in the forums, there was a lot of discussion about that. Like, this is a completely different way of playing the game. So I don't think snaking got divided on the original F-Zero Central. I think it got divided once Mr. Fix-It Online started uploading times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sometime in 2004.
Dude, that pause.
I like the backwards ones.
Yeah, this is insane, but I could never this is more of understanding the game's bugs than actually honing, it's skilled, of course, but it goes into a level of understanding the game that I can't do it.
Well, I mean, GX is so broken that they had no choice but to do what they did. Haunted Ocean, interesting. But I mean, like I said, we've been spoiled. Like when I got into it, it was like, yeah, you should only do max speed because it's like the greatest. It's the best way to get your fundamentals down.
Yeah.
Because snaking was just, it's basically, hey, you need to be really fucking good with your MT control, because we know now that holding a frame of the A button longer in snaking loses way more speed than max speed. Just because of how the speed slider works, so you lose a lot of speed when you're above your max speed compared to if you have a max speed slider. We have all those stats documented and shit.
What is this map?
It looks like a haunted ocean, but it's just a hand coming out of a cup.
Well, wait, is that actually in the game or is this a mod?
Oh, this is a
custom track.
Yeah, F-Zero X is.
X customs are broken in half. You can make anything you want.
Yeah, the custom creation in that game is insane.
Yes. My favorite custom track in F-Zero X, Mario Kart Rainbow Road.
Odd Town. Isn't that just France?
Yep, it's literally just France.
Yeah,
Can you go away, Cass? Stop it.
Fine, I'll go.
No, I was talking to the cat. She keeps trying to climb on my keyboard while I'm running from zombies.
What game you playing?
Project Zomboid.
Nice.
I've heard about that.
I woke up this morning and I had 3 announcements from Speedrun that my world records were taken. I'm like, I need to step away from that game for a little bit.
Yeah, you should get used to early game optimization. You're not setting a time for the record, you're setting a time for history. Because
you're setting a time for what, sorry?
For history. Because early game records are not going to stay for long.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting into the game. Once more people learn the mechanics, they'll beat them. I'm still shocked that my Big Blue exists, but once those super shortcuts came out, you knew day one, if you don't do 404, you're not keeping the record.
Yeah, but that's why I try to get my 1 in before the 404 came out.
Exactly, and that's what people do, and that's what you should do. At least get that 1 run in. These backwards tests are so silly.
I hope that if everything else fails, I hope that my longest lasting time will be my Firefield one, which I'm hoping to get it under another second under, so I can beat Ed's time.
We'll go for it. Ed's run isn't good. He messed up it.
Yeah. Well, also he's he said he's kind of done with Firefield for a while.
Well, yeah. I don't know how he is. I know for me, I didn't really care for the time attack. like Mute Cities, for instance, I hated those fucking ones. I even hated Big Blue because like just barely touching a corner is enough for you to lose your run, and it's like that's stupid.
Oh, is the speed loss by hitting the rails significant on the Stingray here compared to the original?
It's not the speed loss; it's the energy loss. Because now that your energy is tied to your boost,
yeah,
you now have to somehow balance how much of the rails you can cut.
Yeah.
But basically, for Fire Stingray, the way I was trying it, if you look at my my Big Blue run, I was trying to time it in such a way that when I hit my last boost, that I barely go into the rail. Like basically, I oscillate up to my full speed, and then I barely lose my speed by going into the energy down state.
Yeah, that's something I have to balance a lot on the Red Canyon 1 and 2 with the Fox, because if you rail cut, you're missing out on one final boost opportunity.
Exactly, and I hate that mechanic because taking the tightest lines and cutting into rails is how you go fast in Super. Whereas in 99, you have to balance out the fact that you can only cut so much of a rail so many times before it becomes a detriment. And I don't like that.
So that's the reason you don't like speed running 99, correct?
That's one of the main reasons, yeah. It's silly to lose a run because you were too tight. I mean,
okay, that's fair.
I mean, it's just different. Like if you just watch how we go fast in Super Nintendo, like there's a recommended border, which is those like circular balls, and then there's that black border, which is the absolute limit of the track. And you'll see we get really close to that absolute limit when we use our one boost. And at least with that, like you know, you can't touch rails at all. Whereas in 99, like there's some situations where cutting the rails is okay in boost state. It's just an odd mindset.
I mean, Wildland too, you always have to cut the corners there.
There's no avoiding those ones. Like, you lose so much time not cutting those rails. The only time I don't cut them is in a race, and if I'm ahead of somebody, I'll, like, deliberately skip cutting the first rail. I also have too many freaking projects, if you didn't know that, Riley. Like, I do a lot of speedrunning, I like F-Zero 99, but it's just not a game that interests me. It's more of like, it's just fun. It's fun to play. It's like if F-Zero Versus finally came into a true multiplayer experience. But at the same time, I probably wouldn't enjoy F-Zero Versus because the gap between me and everybody else is like way too high.
If you could make one change or have one addition to the game, what would you want?
In 99?
Yeah.
I would do something with side attack. I would make side attack stronger, more potent, and I would make each vehicle have a different recharge rate for the spin attack.
I definitely agree.
Like I do.
Oh yeah, the spin attack. Yeah, that would be good.
I would make it stronger. I wouldn't change its duration, but I would be like, if you're Golden Fox or if you're Fire Stingray, both vehicles are designed for speed, correct? Well, if they're designed for speed, you should be penalized defensively. So you should have longer recharge rates on your spin attack. Golden Fox. Wild Goose. I mean, it's already got good defense. Maybe you should make it the base recharge rate. And then Blue Falcon, with it being such a basic vehicle, maybe it should have the fastest refresh rate. I don't know. But I do feel if you just change something with the side attack, it would be a little better. Like, you couldn't play aggressively like a Stingray. I can tell you right now, if I'm on a straight and I'm next to people, I'm a little scared because, if I see that they're a goose, I'm already fucked.
Yeah,
but even if you see the Falcon, it's like, okay, he can probably block the first, side attack from me, but he can get the second chance in before I do. It causes a little bit more of a battle element.
So you'd like more battle mechanics?
Basically, yeah. Make it more threatening.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and I never thought I would say it.
But I do feel if you're like Golden Fox and Fire Stinger right now, or you're built for speed vehicle, so they should have a detriment when it comes to the defense department. I mean, you could probably argue that maybe Golden Fox should not have the slowest refresh rate on the side attack, but it definitely shouldn't have the fastest.
Do you think Wild Goose has like too much defenses? Because I don't know, that thing's
That's its whole thing.
that thing's bulky as hell.
It is bulky
that,
as shit. But if you just make everybody hit harder, maybe it doesn't do too much difference. But then again, if everybody hits harder, that means
that's the second fastest top speed as well.
Yeah, it's got good top speed.
That's
I mean, the other thing
maintain the top speed though. Like when you're playing Wild Goose, you don't really rely so much on the top speed to win.
Nah.
Yeah, it doesn't turn so good as well, so you're not at that speed for as long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not really the point in some ways.
Yeah, the battle mechanics would be the first thing, and then
so
you would just see from there.
So you'd want like people to die a lot faster, I imagine, because I kind of want that.
I would want side attacks to actually mean something.
Right? Yeah, because if people aren't like reckless with their boost power, then they're gonna be safe.
I mean, if you look at how people side attack, they just go into a corner, they spin attack, they're safe. They go into a jump plate, they're safe. Like, they already have mechanics that refresh your duration, but, like, it should be a little bit more strategic. Like, that's why, like, Mute City 3 compared to Mute City 1, I feel is a better course. Because it does have those hazards on the course that prevents spin attack spamming from just being untouchable.
What's your guys' strategy for spin attacking? Do you just use it in certain places, or?
If you're going to a jump plate or a boost, you want to do it all the time.
Sometimes on certain turns, I'll definitely want to use it.
Yeah, certain corners too. Like Red Canyon 1, for instance. That dirt patch first corner. Absolutely, you have to go into that with a spin attack because a lot of people will try to undercut you and like slam into you. So it's a good defensive move there. At the start,
I would also say at the end of a race, if you're gonna boost and you're gonna go into low energy, you should save the spin attack until you're right next to the end of the line.
Right.
That too. I mean, also the dry boosting mechanic should be, like I mentioned earlier, like it should be like protecting Pokemon. The first one's guaranteed, but the second one has a half chance of success. And just to be safe, why don't you just make all subsequent ones only be 50%? So instead of cutting it in half every time, just be like, first one's free, and then from now on, you have a 50% chance of blowing up. Like, it should be a true desperate mechanic at the very end where you're going to lose if you don't do it. Maybe you have a chance to win. Or you just blow up.
Yeah, like that, yeah.
Like, otherwise, I've seen people just fucking, like, let's say you're in second place here. Like this guy right here, the Freezer. I hate that motherfucker.
Who is this?
Freezer. He's basically a meme. Like, I don't even think he races legitimately. He just boosts until he gets to drive boost, and then he drive boost. That's all he does. I think he spams the boost button, basically.
Hi, I do that too.
You don't do it like this guy. Like, this guy will actually do it even though he loses. Like, you see that right here? He doesn't care that he's, like, gonna get KO'd. He deliberately does it, and it does affect the outcome of a race. Like, he doesn't strategically boost. He just boosts. Like, I swear he has turbo set to the boost button. I've encountered that guy a few times, and I'm like this. I was like, this guy's a meme. No, he's just fucking around. He's literally boosting, even though he's going to get KO'd by somebody. Like, that's what happened here. And it does highlight. Yeah, he's just memeing. Like, he wasn't racing legitimately. He was. What's even the word? Like, you ever see MLB events? They have these races where it's like beat the freezer, or it's like they give a guy, an average Joe, like a 10-second head start, and then they have this track athlete who tries to overtake him. It's kind of like that kind of thing. Like, it reminds me of that. But like, yeah, like drive boosting should be. It should have a punish mechanic. I mean, you should think about it. The punish mechanic is that you're about to blow up with like a light breeze touching you, but if you're in like second place and there's like Stingray in front of you, you can just drive boost behind him and still catch up to him pretty safely. But then you could always just break and side attack into him. But like it's just not a good mechanic in my opinion. And also for time attack, it's pretty shit. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Would you improve the Skyway in any way?
I think it's perfect.
I don't see anything you could do with the Skyway except like.
Yeah, I think they implemented it as good as they could have.
I mean, the only thing differently you could do would be like where the extensions happen. Like.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely some questionable placements.
There are, and like it would be neat if you could see like a visual representation on the track where the cutoff's going to happen on your screen, maybe. Like let's say you pop up there and like there's just a yellow line that you see in the distance that's like this is where you're going to cut off. But let's say you miss a boost plate, now that cutoff happens sooner. Like, that would be okay. It'd be more of a quality of life thing.
I feel like you can get a pretty good sense of it, though.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, people got a good sense anyways, because you're Skywing, you're pretty much consistently doing it at the same spot.
Yeah.
But, it's just... That's more of, like... It would be nice to know... somewhat.
Oof. I like how the Skyway is attached to the boost, so you can't just keep boosting and hold a Skyway. Yet you have to use it.
That mechanic's actually good because it does give you risk reward. That's why, like, if you're a Fox, you can't like really hold your Skyway. But if you're like a Stingray, you can actually control where you do it very well. So I think that's a good mechanic. Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan.
Skyway was really super boost and Skyway was really
like I definitely. I mean, the only Skyways I definitely don't like is the Silence, Whiteland 2, and Firefield one. Like, those ones are actually, like... I mean, I
guess
said
it's kind of fair since you're only doing 20 racers. Like, you're not as likely to build a super boost.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that's why they made it so powerful.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they underestimate how people can just make anything an advantage if you give it to them. Sandbagging to collect them. And
like I
not
always
a good strategy.
Hang back on Firefield and just build.
I will say,
every time.
It feels like the Skyways go on way too long in those races. With the 20
I try to
players.
deliberately front run with whatever car I can on Firefield, just because it does seem overkill.
Do you guys know like what determines when you get a really long Skyway versus a really short Skyway?
It is distance from the first player.
Are you sure it's distance? I thought it was just position.
Because no. Like, okay, in Port Town, if the person does one of the skips and they're like cut off, and you do a Skyway right as they do it, you get a really long Skyway boost.
I will say that I've done the 10-second delayed thing on both Firefield, Whiteland, and Port Town, and when I do get a Skyway, it's no longer. If I'm 10 seconds back, like if I'm like 5 seconds back, it's no longer than if I was in like 80th place or something.
So there's like
it might have
because like
cut off at some point, but
I do. It is distance from first place because like if you go on Mute City, the Skyways aren't that long because everyone's so close to each other compared to something like Sand Ocean or Red Canyon.
That's interesting. I always thought it was based on position, but if I would have known it was based on distance, I might have changed a little bit of when I would do it.
That's what I do on Port.
It makes sense though, because I was questioning it a few times on Mute City, where I would do it and I wouldn't like hit a place, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. I'm like 30th, 50th place. Why is this so freaking slow? Like, why? Oh, I didn't know about that. Yeah, that's dangerous.
With the Mute City, if I Skyway, I always Skyway on my way down from the jump, and then I'm pretty much guaranteed to go past the hairpin.
Interesting. So that would be like Port Town 1, absolutely. If you see your 1 go to 2, you just pop that Skyway immediately.
That is
disturbing.
That I have my hand on the map button for that map because
Good.
if I have a skyway and I'm going on the next to the skip area, if I see someone attempt to skip, I just pop it. I skip the magnet area because that's how good it is.
That's
I pop the skyway right at the finish line, and I can skip the magnets.
I wish I would have known that when I was playing. That could have helped me win a few quick time matches.
It doesn't even matter if they like succeed at the skip. It's just over there.
Yeah, they still classify them as first place because they're over there, but that's funny.
And if someone tries to do the super skip on White Land, I can just do that too.
Yeah, that's disturbing. Unless
there was a clip I put in the clips channel not too long ago of a Firefield Skyway I got that just took me like 80% of the final lap to the end. It was amazing.
Oh, that's neat. I mean,
yeah,
there really isn't much I would personally change with the Skyway. I mean, seeing how it's working now.
Yeah.
Maybe the cap. Maybe they should have a much more harsher cap to how long it should exist. But for the most part, it shouldn't like. It seems like it's doing okay. Like this is probably the most fleshed out mechanic they put in the game.
Would you guys change anything about the red bumpers?
No.
I would
as
love
much as I hate them.
like,
no, honestly.
Like
I hate them, but can I criticize them? That is the difference.
I would want them to launch you forward stronger, but also curve you into the wall. So instead of just...
They already do that.
I mean, like, launching. Like, I'm talking like 999. But you still smack into the wall. Just be more dramatic. I think the explosions are a little
like, I think they're also trying not to lean too far off the original SNES because, like, the forward momentum is definitely not in the original, right? So that came out with like MV.
I don't know.
In the original SNES game, you had the red bumpers that would just stop randomly. I'm glad they removed that.
Yeah, but like, there's no way of getting rear end. There's no way to get rear bumped in the SNES one, be it a mine on the ground or a red bumper that will propel you forward.
I don't know. I mean, I really don't think there is much use of change for them, but...
Oh wait. Them getting a bigger boost on the boost panels.
Make them go faster? Okay, that's already scary because they're already going faster than you with the boost.
Yeah.
So they would just missile you.
I'm just saying that's what they have already.
Yeah.
I've been nuked by a bumper after the dash blade because it was accelerating faster than me.
Yeah,
I've had that happen. No, I don't think there should be any difference to the Reds. Maybe like, I mean,
if they like randomize the formation so you can't like memorize it.
What if you just
true?
I mean, the randomized
aspect. Awful.
I agree with the randomized aspect. Like, I actually feel that's one of the.
Because right now they're totally predictable, right?
Yeah, you reward first place
if you're in first place.
Yeah, you reward first place with having complete control over the spawns of the red. Like, I mean, if you watch my Big Blue when I do it in 99, like, I actually manipulate the red spawns at the very end so that I have a larger window to get through like a set of red bumpers, because like it looks like it's chaos at the end, but it's actually not that hard once you know how the patterns are.
The randomness comes from the blue bumpers, and those are hell.
Oh, those should just not exist.
Yeah.
If you make them exist
too much,
if you make them exist,
they're pretty easy. Like, you just go off to one side and then jump to the other.
Yeah, I would only remove them completely from Grand Prix mode. I do feel that's the only time where it should be like that. But if you're not in Grand Prix mode, I mean, deal with it.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't lose a GP because of a person that ranked out. Like that, it should be a strict contest between everybody else.
I like too about the blue bumpers. The blue bumpers, like, you get points for hitting other vehicles, but like, do those points translate into anything, like tickets or anything?
It does.
Yeah, they're tickets. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the blue bumpers can spin. They can hit you. They can slow down. They don't go one speed. They can slow down.
Yeah, they can
go off to the side and detonate.
Yeah.
All right.
If you're honorable, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna get off here now because I need food, and it was nice talking to you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, we need to do this again.
Yeah, I'll probably get off too. I want to try grinding the time attacks for Blue Falcon then.
Yeah, I think you have a good chance.
Yep.
Yeah, it was good having you guys.
Sometime. It was a pleasure, guys.
Yep, we should do this again.
Yep, until next time.
Have a good one.
See ya.